Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into Infinity Broadcasting, and welcome into the SIMRIGS V8 Veterans for the Split 2 action of Season 28 here this evening. It's the penultimate round, round 9, the final droppable round of the season, as we come to the streets of Adelaide in South Australia for 250k, 78 laps, our favourite distance to run here. And it's one hell of a challenge. It's a circuit that'll throw out plenty of challenges to the drivers this evening. And what a perfect way to lead us into the final round next week out at Mount Panorama Bathurst. Hamish Munro here with you alongside Brett Fisher once again. And Brett, this is going to be an ultimate challenge for these drivers. Tight walls, tight concrete barriers, a tight circuit as well, and one that will ultimately could be an early decider on this championship with only one more round to go after tonight.
Yeah, well, will Adelaide provide? I think Adelaide will provide. It always has, and I think it's going to continue. Looking forward to tonight's race. Should be good.
Well, something's happened, Brett. Apparently, you are a little bit even more deeper than you were earlier. So maybe something to tinker in the background.
Sorry about that.
I'm not sure what happened there in between us starting and then in between us having that happen, but. Something that we'll be able to check in on. I don't know. I don't know what's happened, but something's gone awry at that stage, apparently. We'll run you through where we are this evening, of course.
Barry White, haven't I?
Want to be more like Barry Sheen, I think, more than Barry White.
Yeah, right.
But,
yeah, probably.
Where we are this evening, of course, round 9 here at Adelaide. It is the penultimate round, final droppable round of our season before we go to Bathurst next week. Let's have a quick look at where we are here this evening. Adelaide Street Circuit, of course, it is the home of the regular Adelaide Grand Final for the Australian Supercars Championship as we roll on our way in. Not too far away from Tailem Bend, where we've been twice this season. We return to the streets of Adelaide for our second to last round tonight. We've been here 2 times prior to now. In the last 2 seasons since this circuit came out, we have come here as well with a whole heap of different finishes and a whole heap of action all throughout as well. As we have a quick look at our layout here, of course, that we run the main straightaway leading up towards the centre chicane at turn 1 and turn 2. This is going to be an early spot for dramas tonight. It's going to be an early spot for incidents to come about, but it's also going to be an early spot as well, Brett, for safety cars to possibly be called. Not just turn 1, 2, even turn 3, 2, the kink, where we can find cars in the barrier very, very hard, very, very tough. It's a tight corner, and it's one that drivers will struggle with. That first section of 3 corners there, Brett, that is one to keep an eye on tonight, and it could be a spot where an early safety car to get called, where we have drivers parked all throughout. I think probably the most notable incident we've ever seen here, in real life at least, was Jason Bright's rollover many, many years ago through turn 1 and turn 2. Could easily happen tonight here in the sim.
Yep, for certain. And don't we all like a good kink?
Yes, we all love a good kink. We all love a good kink there.
Danny Chapman saying I sound like I've got a sock over using a sock as a mic.
Well, actually, the sock may actually help, Brett, because it would almost be like a sound deadener.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So I don't really know, but it's something that we'll be able to work on. Up through Wakefield Road, up towards the staircase section of turn 4, 5, and 6, and in towards turn 7. This is a spot where you'll get stuck behind drivers trying to serve their slowdowns throughout the race. That is going to be an area of contention, I'm sure of, and one for us to keep an eye on throughout this race as well. I am also going to get some stats up for tonight to talk about too, because this is going to be one to really sink our teeth into all throughout this race here this evening as well. Then we come around turn 7 onto the Brock Straight and up towards the dreaded turn 8, where we could find ourselves with some heavy incidents happening all throughout this race as well. Down the Brabham Straight towards the roundabout at turn 9. Good passing opportunity, one of the betters across the whole circuit, and one to keep an eye on all throughout the race. Then it's around turn 10 and back in towards the park at turn 11 through turn 12, 13 and into the final corner at 14, where it's a tough hairpin, and we'll often see drivers get caught up in incidents all throughout as well. That will be one to keep an eye on all throughout the evening too. Then back onto the main straight. Pit entry tonight, it's not going to be so bad. Pit exit is going to be a dreaded one. It comes out right onto the racing line, into the firing line of turn 1 and turn 2, where we could see incidents coming. I'm sure of that. But this layout's been used ever since 1999. It is changing as of next year to match the MotoGP layout specifications. It's length 3.2 k's, 2 miles in the old language course, 14 turns as well. But this circuit's been run ever since 1985, celebrating with 41 years this year of usage for racing here in Australia, and it's one to surely keep an eye out as well. One piece of information I want to talk about before tonight's race here at Adelaide, Brett, is some of the finishing positions for some drivers in the last two Adelaide Street Circuit races. Importantly, the three drivers that are within the championship hunt at the moment here, Brett. Namely, starting with Stephen Kokoschke, and then leading up to Mick Clifford, and then into Stuart Hall. Kokoschke, previous best performance, he was P5. That was in the first outing we ever ran this circuit, but the last time we ran here, it was P27 after he had a pit lane start at this circuit. So he is currently not carrying the momentum here out at Adelaide. Mick Clifton, the last time we ran here, previously he's run 2 times at this circuit. He's run P2, but he's also run P11 previously as well. So he's had some good stead in terms of performances at this circuit. The last time we ran here, though, was when he finished on the podium. He got pole position last time we were here, finished down in P2 off the back of that result as well. And then to Stuart Hall, the championship leader. His only drive here, he has finished P38. And in fact, didn't actually get points that day, Brett. So a lot of pressure on those shoulders leading into this race. One for drivers to keep an eye on and an ear out for today's race as well. But one to think about, knowing our current championship standings coming into this race. Of course, Hall leading the way on 1,057 points, Mick Clifton in P2, and then Stephen Kokoschke in P3. A bad race for Kokoschke or Hall could really hurt them. Clifton has the safety net that his next worst is a P7. So at worst, he would take out of tonight's race 166 points. He would at worst take out of tonight's race into Bathurst next week. Hall and Kokoschke, well, Kokoschke's in the much worse state. He's missed 2 rounds. So if he has a poor run tonight, he's out of it. For Hall, his next worst is far, far down the order. A bad run tonight would also arguably take him out of mathematical contention too. So it needs to be a strong finish for all 3 of them if they want to take the fight into Bathurst next week at the non-droppable final round of the season. If all 3 of them have a bad round, the likes of Chad Viger is going to be back in it. Same for Scott McKenzie. Heddersheed, we know, is out of it because he can't race next week due to surgery. But we do look back to Viger and McKenzie to be the next in contention. But realistically, Brett, it's going to come down to those 3. May even only come down to 2 of them if any of them have a mistake here tonight.
And it's great to see that there's a lot of close action still up the top of the field. And even further in 10, it's a lot of close numbers there as well. So looking forward to see what next week provides.
Well,
Is that less basic?
It's less basic, but it's more helium. So I don't know if that was the correct choice necessarily, Brett, or if we've actually gone the right way. That is an atrocious sound, whatever it is that you're making right there. Very, very bad. But yeah, what we know is
we've this right by the time we go to the race.
You can see the split there, though, for the top 12. Only 3 Camaros in that top 12. The rest are all Mustangs throughout that field as well. So there's a lot of Mustang love here. Mustang has been the car of recent success here in Split 2, but the Chevrolet has had more Split 2 championships since its introduction back in season 22. So yeah, I mean, who knows who's going to win the championship this season. It is going to come down to either a Chevrolet or a Mustang. We know that. One of them is going to win it this season. Which one it is, time will tell. The vote's currently happening out there. We wanted to hear from you who you think is going to be the true contender for the championship come the end of this season. Stuart Hall leading the way at the moment, Mick Clifton, Stephen Kokoschke, or someone else coming through out of the chaos. Want to hear from you, want to hear your opinions right now. Stuart Hall is winning the vote, 33% at the moment. Mick Clifton is tied at the moment on 25% of the vote with an outsider through chaos, and only 17% of the people think that Stephen Kokoschke can win the championship through this as well this season. So very interesting choices, very interesting mindsets of the chat out there, but we want to hear from you. Want to hear your opinions. We'll end the poll once the race begins here today for today's race outing, of course, here at Adelaide, and one for you guys to keep an eye on all throughout. We have got a little bit of information for you about season 29, though, Brett. We have heard and seen now a drafted calendar for next season, a calendar of which is subject to change distances, tracks, what have you, is subject to change. But this is the current most honest, factual version of his next season calendar for season 29. This is what it is currently looking like. It was made by Jamie McKnight for next season. That's what it's looking like, though, for next season. Snetterton leading in towards Bathurst, Road America, Urschersleben, Circuit de la Sarthe at Le Mans. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, which is one of the most underrated circuits in the world, I'm of opinion of. Silverstone Historic Layout, Belle Isle, Virginia International Raceway, and then ending it all 300Ks at Autodromo Mugello for next season. That is a tasty looking calendar. Plenty of tracks on there. Not really any misses. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Le Mans for broadcasting sake, but racing sake, it is a great track. The rest of them, I think, is going to be great, and especially Belle Isle. I just hope it was a 250k race at Belle Isle. That would really make it interesting. But a 300km race in Mugello, that's going to be one to keep an eye on for next season.
Certainly will.
Well, it's going to be a fun one. It is going to be a fun one for next season. So if you haven't signed up, you got to wait to sign up before it goes to the waitlist drivers, and then after that, it will go to the public. So get signed up, get on board for next season. It is going to be a fun one for season 29 of the V8 Veterans. Of course, we are coming towards the end of qualifying for these drivers out here today. As qualifying has now come to an end. The warm-up session is about to get underway, but we'll show you what the starting grid is for the final droppable round of the season. David Duddle will start pole position for Shadow Racing alongside Halil Cesar, return to form for the former champion. He'll start at a P2 alongside in the Tuned X Drift Academy entry there for the front row of the grid. All Mustang front row of the grid here today. To row 2, it's another all Mustang row. Tony Chapman will start at a P3 for podium alongside the Angry Birds racing entry of Rick Viger out of P4. He is within the top 12 of the championship as Rick will be wanting a top 10 finish in the championship if he can come the end of Bathurst next week. And all Camaro, then third row of the grid. Matthew Skulls, Dave Arney alongside each other for 801 Sim Sports and Pacific Esports Racing as well. To row 4 in behind them, it's then championship contenders Mick Clifton and Stuart Hall. All row 4 is made up of championship contenders for Clifton and Hall here tonight inside of the top 10. So it'll be a straight up Ford versus Chevrolet battle to see who's going to be possibly leading the championship into next week's race out at Mount Panorama. To row 5 in behind them and the top 10, it's Chad Viger starting alongside Christopher Blanchard out there as well. Row 6 to the top 12. Paul Burns will start alongside Matthew Day in the Pagnian entry out there too. To row 7, we then find Nathan Favero and Andrew Galley running his retro a little bit early here, Brett. Someone's turned his retro on early, but that's okay.
Anyway.
Showing it off too early for Shadow Racing, it seems. But row 8 in behind, we then find Abel Verben and James Boardman starting alongside each other as well. Boardman with a great race at Sandown last week. He'll be hoping to capitalise upon that here tonight, see if we can get another good result out of that Watton mechanical car. Row 9, it's then Andrew Lister and Joe Mahoney starting alongside each other. To row 10 of the top 20, Ben Brooks starting alongside Ernie Toth, who has made my life difficult here. I've had to change his colouring here, Brett, because he was coloured for a Camaro and now he's racing a Mustang. So I've had to change him to blue on the tower. So thank you, Ernie. The only one that had to do it out there in the whole field.
Hold on, boys.
Row 11, Wade Reynolds alongside Matthew Monday out there as well. To row 12, we then find...
early as well.
Yeah, he is indeed. Yusuf Korfidis on row 12 alongside another championship contender, Stevie Kokoschki, with work to do tonight, qualifying in P24. Yeah. This is not the start that he wants here at Adelaide. He's going to have work to do, especially after the poor run he had at this circuit last time. Hopefully the demons are not hanging over his shoulder with only the one more round to go here this season. Row 13, it's then Todd Duggan. Fresh news off the records for you. I've heard Duggan has found a home for next season. Brett, I think there's more to come though in the Vets Discord possibly for where Duggan is ending up next season. Roy Clark will start alongside him though out of the top 26. Row 14, Darryl Callaghan will start alongside Brett Fisher out of the top 28. To the top 30 in row 15, it's Simon Heddersheed starting alongside Adrian Zeal for our top 30. And speaking of Team AJR, we want to give our thoughts out there to Andrew Johnston, who unfortunately had a stroke earlier this week. Luckily, his wife noticed that he was slurring some words, having some issues at home, got him to the hospital, and everything is all on the up. So we hope that fast recovery for Andrew. I heard he's back at home now, so that's good, and hopefully we see AJ back with us very, very shortly. Row 16, in behind them, we then find Brett Taylor and Peter Kelleher as well. To row 17, It is Scott McCune and Michael Quain alongside each other to row 18 as well. Scott West and Tim Mulford will start alongside each other to row 19. We then find our race controllers before getting to Matthew Skulls and Darren Goosey will be at the back of the field. And I think that's it, actually. So Matt Skulls was in the field there as well, the three-time champion. We'll see whether he'll be starting in tonight's race, but Darren Goosey starting from pit lane out there today as well. It's almost like, Brett, the microphone, with its bassy issues that it's been happening, it's almost muffled in a way. I don't know what it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
is that any better? No?
No, it's still the same.
Oh, crikey.
I know.
Sorry.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
guys. I don't know what's happened.
No, technical issues are technical issues. Things happen. We can't always control them, Brett, of course. Luckily for us, we have nearly 4 minutes to figure it out before the race starts, and then 250 Ks to get it fixed. So,
yeah, right.
plenty of time.
Well,
We're going to be here for a while, Brett. Don't worry, but...
Righto. I don't know what I can do. Let's just... I'll push some buttons and we'll see what happens.
I'll see what happens. Yeah, see what's going on.
Is that any better?
That sounds about the same to me.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
How about that? Any better there?
That's still the same.
Oh, great.
Do you have to adjust something maybe in your sound settings on Windows, possibly?
Oh, bloody Windows.
Like, is it a different sound device that's selected? Possibly, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
The tech support of the chat is welcome to figure out. Is this going to be one of our rivalries of the season here, Brett? You versus technical difficulties?
Oh, probably. It's always an issue. We'll see what we can do.
Well, it's something that can always challenge us, I'm sure, as well. We'll see what this man can do here tonight. Mick Clifton, one of our championship contenders. The crowd favourite for sure, I would assume, amongst the crowd out there at this stage. Looking at the live vote at the moment, he's actually equal between himself and Stuart Hall, so they're both the crowd favourite at the moment. For those that have voted in our poll in the chat on who you think is going to win the championship, Mick Clifton, Stephen Kokoschke, Stuart Hall, or an outsider through the chaos, who could win the title?
I don't think I'm going to do it.
That would be a pretty wild outcome, Brett, if you were to win the championship. That'd be really, really wild. A lot of chaos. It's still about the same. It's still about the same. I know. It's not liking us today. It is not liking us today. Everyone's claiming you sound fine, but I know the difference between crisp, clear Brett Fisher and slightly muffled Brett Fisher. I don't know what it is, and I don't know what's going to fix it, but we'll be able to figure it out, I'm sure. Dave Duddle, good return to form for him today to start on pole position. What about the return to form, though? The other guy on the front row there, Brett Halil, says a guy who's been out of form for all season, former champion, returns to a good qualifying position on the front row of the grid here today. Could be a good opportunity for points for him. A packed crowd, of course. And I tell you what, you don't really get it on TV all that much unless you find the right camera angles or you're on board the car. It's almost tunnel vision down this main straight, Brett. Past the pit lane gantry and then past the crowd on the other side. It's a real tunnel vision leading up towards turn number 1 and turn number 2. So this is going to be one to offer up some challenges. Hey, John Van Ree's already in the chat with us, by the way, giving us a bit of a chirp to you, Brett, saying driver of the day, Brett with technology. So that's there you go. There's a bit of support out there from JVR.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Dave Marnie in the chat with us, still landing that chopper out there, so thanks so much for joining us as well. Dave, and Damon's in the chat with us too, so the love for his teammate Dave Duddle for getting on the podium here, on the pole position, sorry, I should say, in qualifying. It is on the podium in qualifying, but on the pole position for qualifying. So there is Cesar alongside him as well. Of course, the season 24 champion. And I'll give you an interesting statistic here, Brett, as we wait for the green lights to go up for us here. Let's think about who's in contention this season. Mick Clifton, Stephen Kokoschke, Stuart Hall. Think about, if we think back to the last 4 seasons, Brett, through season 27, 26, 25, 24.
You're asking a lot from me to think back.
You don't have to think back because I'm going to give you all the information right now. Do you remember who won, which team won the championship in season 26 and season 24?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you. I'm asking you. I've got the answer for you, but I'm asking you.
Barry White.
No, it We'll tell you in a minute as we get the green flag ready to go. Revs are rising here out at Adelaide once again. That's 250k, 78 laps of action once more from the streets of Adelaide as it's a hot start from those in P2 and P3. Rick Feiger and co have gone right on towards turn 1, but it's already happened on the main straight. Contact into the main straight and multiple drivers have been involved. You saw Stuart Hall was one of them down there, including Kokoschki. That is one of the 801 sim racing cars spun round at turn 1 as well. And that looked like, but the lead up towards turn 1 was almost headed up by the sandwich effect of Rick Feiger and Tony Chapman coming together with David Duddle, causing an absolute bottleneck on the main straight.
That is a car park personified.
And undoubtedly, the safety car is undoubtedly going to get called. There's a fresh breakaway for Halil Cesar in P1. And safety car has been called by race control. So it is going to get out on circuit as drivers are still stuck down here.
Yeah, still trying to get
unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. We'll be able to look at that post-race, of course, and the post-race highlights to get all the angles for you. And I think we're going to be there for about 10 minutes, Brett, looking at every single angle of that one, I'm sure. Because there's probably about 10 of them we can look. We're getting word that John Van Ree, one of the best chirps I've read in a long time, more carnage than general chat. Cannot even disagree with that one. But Andrew Lister saying Roy got vertical. So there's words that cars have been getting vertical down there within that wreck. You see Joe Mahoney's been involved. Stuart Hall, one of the championship contenders, is now coming to pit lane off that incident too. So he wants to get this car fixed up. Hearing word though, the fast repair has actually been forgotten about and has not been ticked. So this may just be a fuel stop for him to just lighten this load out further into the race. Matt Day's coming as well, as is Michael Quain. This won't count as a CPS. He will have to pit again after the first green flag lap has been completed after this safety car period.
The fade too. Jeez, what is going on? I think I might have to go and check myself in the hospital. I might have to straight myself. I think. There is a fade safety car out on track at the moment. Wow. You don't even get past the first couple of corners. Massive carnage there. This is going to have huge implications for the championship. Is it not?
Well, that's it. You know, is it going to have huge implications? Is it not? I mean, Stuart Hall having to play now an ultimate strategy risk, right? Coming in early, hasn't had that fast repair ticked, so has not fixed that car up completely off that incident. So A, what damage is he carrying? B, where is this now going to put him in this race? Think about it though. He has just gained himself 21, nearly 22 seconds in pit lane for later in the race. The differential is going to be though, he's going to have to give up still the 35 seconds to drive through pit lane, but the stationary time that he's going to save is now going to be significant.
That was nearly a faux then too.
I know.
Walk out of the road of
the important part for Stuart Hall now is if there is another safety car in very short succession to this one, he actually can't come in. He needs to stay out because he actually needs the track position because he needs to try and push this car as far forward as possible to build as much gap as possible before those two stops happen. He can go further in this race now. He doesn't need to pit just yet. He can make a pass critical lap. He's okay. But ultimately, those that have pit now, Hall, Corfidis, who has not pit, sorry. So Hall, Quain, Chapman, Day, Mulford, Galley, Mahoney, Zeal, Viger, who all need still their 2 compulsory stops. They need to skip another stop now. If there is another safety car in quick succession, this one, they have to skip it and they have to try and go further into the race, maybe about the mid-lap 30s if we stay green for that long, because that will get them a much better track position advantage, but also time advantage over those that have already come through pit lane. Remembering as well, they're on a net 0 now comparatively to everyone else. Yes, there's been some positions lost, but on the pit lane time, they're at a net 0. So the important part is now is they've got to try and take advantage of that. And Kokoschki in. Now, again, this won't count as a CPS. Yes, it is lap 2 as his teammate Pete Kelleher has just put it in the wall down at the end of pit lane. Scott Weston's in as well. Kelleher's got going in. That's good to see. Monday's in too. So some cars are in. Corfidis in. But these will not count because we have not completed a green flag lap of this race. So all of these cars...
Yeah, they can only take a compulsory stop after the green flag has been raised.
That's right.
And the race continues. Then you can come into a compulsory.
Yep, that's right. So once one green flag lap is... So if, let's say Halil had crossed the start-finish line and they call the safety car literally just after he's crossed start-finish line, then yes, you could pit now and it would count.
Yeah, exactly.
But he had not finished. He had only just entered turn 9 before the safety car was actually called. So this is not in. We're not within CPS range just yet. We are
This is definitely where having a spotter or other teammates in the
who can
Discord
tell you.
chat help, because you can
Yes.
clarify with them and things like that, and at least that way you're sort of you're getting the right, well, hopefully you're getting the right information.
Well, let's think about where we are at the moment. Mick Clifton, P3 on the road, is up the order. Yes, has got a track position advantage over who? Stuart Hall, who's back in P20, but Stuart Hall has got a 22-second advantage in pit lane because he's already filled up fuel. Look at the gap differential between them. There's 17.5 seconds. So Stuart Hall, on paper right now, would be ahead of Mick Clifton after the 2 stops have been completed because of that 22-second differential.
Yeah.
But he needs to try and take advantage of that. He needs to try and push on as best he can. We'll see what happens after the safety car.
Things are going to happen. I mean, this race, this is only an infant. This race is only in its infancy. There's a lot of stuff to happen. I mean, including that turn right there, as we see in the background there, turn 8. That one normally claims a few cars.
Yep.
And there's some. I mean, look, this whole track, it's alive with action no matter where you are. I think things are going to happen, and this race has got plenty of laps to unwind.
That's exactly right. Plenty of laps.
Cruising around, lap
Plenty
3.
of laps. I mean, we haven't even completed a single green flag lap yet, and I will confirm for what we're talking about here, because I know that Mick Clifton's put a definition in the chat for us too, which we appreciate. So in the world of regular racing, or in regular racing events, where you go when your personal CPS period begins, is when you've completed a green flag lap. So let's say you're Michael Quain back in P19, your CPS period does not start until you have begun lap 2. The only time that changes, Brett, is if there's a safety car, and if the race leader has started lap 2 and the safety car's called for an early safety car, then that changes. It means that the whole field has technically finished a green flag lap, so the whole field can do a CPS under the safety car.
Yep.
So that's done as a way to not inhibit and also limit the field. It's also done as a way to be fair to the field as well. So it means that if Halil was in the position that he crosses the line, he started lap 2, no one else has, safety car's called, he's the only one that can do a CPS, it would give him a significant advantage over the rest of the field. So instead, they just reset it. They say everyone's eligible or everyone's not eligible, depending on where the race leader is. We've seen this happen before. We have seen this happen before. We've seen people make blunders where they've assumed that, I think back to Most Sport 2 seasons ago, where we were umming and ahhing about, was the race leader at the start-finish line? Yes. Yet ultimately he had. I believe it was Chad Viger on that day, had made it to the line. No one else had. But the safety car was called after he crossed the start-finish line, so it meant you could come in to complete a CPS. Some drivers stayed out assuming that they couldn't, and that ultimately ruined their race. So very, very quickly it can happen. We've had a wave around, funnily enough, through all this. Pete Kelleher has been waved around past the safety car, so Edward Cullen should bring it back into pit lane momentarily, and we should get back under racing to green flag as well. So it's great
there
to see.
we go. Take off, Pete Callahan.
Yes, indeed.
Callahan. Jesus, Fox.
Get your...
I need to get a hospital.
I believe Ed's your teammate as well, isn't he? He races for Shadow, doesn't he, normally?
Yeah, Ed Cullen.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I don't know why. I am absolutely tired. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
I might not seem as sprightly as my normal self, maybe.
So, Halil Cesar,
Pete
race...
Callahan doing the fastest lap of the race there, at 1:29.
There we go. What a lap time, 1:29.84. I'm sure that's going to change very shortly. Halil Cesar, though, into the race lead. Safety car is now into pit lane, so the race circuit is classified as green. We will get the green flag drop when Halil goes. I think he's going to go on the apex of the last corner, or possibly on entry. Regardless, though, we've got so many laps still to complete. Half the field has done a pit stop, but it's not counted as a CPS just yet. Halil Cesar, the season 24 champion, gets us back underway. Green flag And for the first time in a long time, we've got two champions in the top two. Cesar, the Season 24 champion. Skulls, Season 25 and Season 18 champion, respectively, for himself, as well as Mick Clifton going to join them at season's end as he enters up in towards turn 4 as well. You see Arnie in behind. Blanchard and Boardman are continuing their battle off of Sandown last week. You recall them battling for P2. Well, now they're battling for P5. Boardman already on a great run up the order tonight, up 10 into the top 10. Down the order, the Battle of the Bretts has gone up the order as well here. Brett Taylor up 19. Brett Fisher, you're up 15 at the moment into P13 and a good race start to avoid the carnage early.
Yeah, not much practice here, or no practice actually, until the race day. So I was a bit sketched out there.
A bit sketch.
Oh, Boardman having a look.
You see Arnie.
He's there on the outside. Yeah,
He is
nice
indeed.
move.
So Blanchard's already come through. And Boardman not quite able to get there just yet, so he'll have to tuck back in behind for now. He's got Verben in behind him as well. Cesar will now begin lap number 6. So green flag lap is about to be completed for the first time. This will count as the first CPS for you once you've completed this lap. So you actually, your first CPS lap actually can't be taken until now, Brett, lap 6.
Yeah.
So if you pit on lap 5, this actually won't count for you. So we got to watch this. So Duddle's actually come in here on lap 5. He hasn't completed a green flag lap though, so this actually doesn't count. This wouldn't count for a CPS. They haven't completed a green flag lap.
And I also saw Adrian Hill coming to pit lap prior as well, just off the restart.
Well, he's still out there actually. His last entry was lap 1. Interestingly enough, but he is still going at the moment. Brett Fisher with a slowdown though off of turn 1-2.
Yeah.
Drops position to Todd Duggan and Ben Brook, as well as Wade Reynolds up the inside. Watch for Darryl Callaghan too. So yeah, interesting this here, Brett. So both those guys are your teammates. They've come in on lap 5, but that doesn't count for them. They need to pit 2 more times now in this race.
Oh, there goes the front.
Off the car.
Heading
down the straight. Shedding a bit of weight. I'll give you the update here on where Stuart Hall is, by the way. P20 up on the order at the moment. And as he now chases yourself down here, Bretty's got Tony Chapman in behind him as well. So this will be one to keep an eye on throughout this race as we're on to lap 6 now of 78. So cars can now come into pit lane. This would count as a CPS on this lap. Any prior now have not counted thus far in the race. Cesar though with the fast lap of the race last time by. This time by as well, 122.27. But Clifton pips in 122.08. 08, but then Blanchard with the first 21 of the race thus far as Brett Fisher, Tony Chapman now to pit lane. So yours counts, Brett. Your teammates don't. What are you going to be saying to them now if they don't pit again twice over?
I don't know. I'm worried about myself at this stage. I've got all sorts of things going on at the moment.
Well, it's very interesting. Stuart Hall's saying you only have to start a green flag. You don't, because otherwise the race start counts as a green flag lap start. You have to finish a green flag lap, would be how it's worded, as Scott McCune and Stuart Hall, not Stuart Hall, sorry, Mark McQuain battle for position here. But
heavy damage.
He is.
On that left-hand side. I wonder if the wheel is actually pointing a little bit.
It is a bit skew-if. It's just right hand down a little bit. So this car has actually got some big damage. Joe Mahoney has had a moment down at turn 7, so that car's going slow. He is back underway, though, with Heddersheed just ahead of him as well as Matt Monday. But, yeah, Stuart Hall's steering is drifting right hand down a little bit.
Yeah.
Up the inside goes Mulford. As they continue on, McCune, though, is under pressure here. That is some heavy damage on that car. Once again, more confusion of the wording of the rules.
Yeah, he's good haul struggling with that car, so I'm going to he's coming in start. So he's going to try and hang it out. No, coming in, definitely.
Yeah, so McCune.
Look at that.
Yeah, McCune in. That wheel is hanging out super far to this point in time. And into pit lane for him. As we continue to fight our way on forward. Dave Varney, it's got pressure here from James Boardman in behind and inside the staircase section here today. Coming up and around towards turn 7, the entry to the Brock Straight. Remember the days when there was no wall there, you ran it out super wide over the curb, get a bit more speed out of the corner. They tightened it up a few years ago just to bring the speed down of that corner. Put a bit more pressure on the run through turn 8 as everyone is getting involved in a battle here. See as well that Mulford's starting to make moves here. He's already up past Michael Wayne. Look who's in behind Hall as well, Kokoschki. So Kokoschki, who's already been through pit lane today, is now on the heels of Stuart Hall. This is going to be a tight battle, and one that Mick Clifton may hope's going to get a little bit wild as into the wall where Michael Quain from Mulford, and Kokoschki's been caught up in it as well. How in the hell did Hall avoid that? But that is huge damage to Kokoschki's car. Is that going to end the championship? Hennessy got caught up slightly too, but Quain's car's going nowhere. This will be a safety car for sure.
That was huge again.
Absolutely monumental. Kokoschki straight in. Weston's gone off too. That there is down at turn 11. That was turn 11 for Scott Weston. Kokoschki has come straight in. Rick Viger as well. Another one having incidents here. It is absolute chaos off of this race start. And safety car has been called by the race controllers. Unbelievable.
Wow, here we go. Not even 10 laps down. 2 safety cars where I think how many races has Split 2 seen safety cars in for this season? I think not many.
Yep. Also, Chris Blanchard saved me doing the search here because I actually pulled the regs up here to search for this as well, Brett. He has worded it for me correctly. Thank you, Chris. It must be 1 green flag lap completed for the driver. That's why with no safety car, you can't do CPS until the end of lap 2. So that wording is now correct. So that does mean that those that pit on lap 5 has not counted. Says it straight in. Very late entry, though.
Ooh.
He's gotten away with it. No black flag on that car. Clifton's followed him. Skulls of Blanchard have kept going, though, interestingly enough. Arnie's in. Boardman's in. So majority of the field in here. Watch now. Does Stuart Hall come in? Remember I mentioned he needs to just keep going. If he comes in now, he may actually lose some advantage later in the race. He needs some track positioning. So maybe the better... And he is. He's staying out. So he's going to take the track positioning, knowing that he needs to do 2 stops later in this race. But ultimately, he's going to be at the front end of the field. And he's going to be able to run up here for a long, long time in this one. Knowing that he's got Blanchard, Day, and Skulls in front of him, who... all 3 of them, those guys still need 2 CPSs just like him.
Wow, what an amazing start to this this round so far. Like, this has been chaos personified so far. Second time seeing the safety car out on track. Cars scattered everywhere. We've got 3 cars stranded on track at the moment.
We have indeed. And to think Nathan Favero said this one was going to be boring in the chat earlier.
Oh.
Might be a bit wrong on that one.
Are
there,
you
Fav.
not entertained? Hang on a second.
Are you not entertained?
Oh, apparently. Okay, so Blanchard actually saying the safety car wasn't called until they were at pit entry. So that's why the top 2 have not come in. So this was not a strategic choice by them. This was an unfortunate moment of timing for Skulls and Blanchard. So these guys might feel a little bit cheated here because they've actually been cheated out of the opportunity to come into pit lane with everybody else.
Yeah.
Actually, no, hang on. If they... Oh, no, I suppose, yeah, if they've actually... No, that's right. So if they've actually called the safety car... Yes, so if they called it when Cesar... Because Cesar was just in front of them, so he jumped in and they didn't. So, okay, that would explain why. No, that makes sense now.
But, yeah, for safety reasons, is the broadcast still rolling? Mine is frozen.
The broadcast is still going, Brent. Don't worry, the broadcast is going.
Good.
It's excellent, apparently.
For whatever reason, I'm not seeing it. Frozen. That's okay.
Interesting. Let me check my Discord.
Oh, technical issues that I'm having at the moment are unbelievable.
It's working in Discord for me. There's so the one with the audio was having an issue, but the virtual cam was still working fine apparently. Very interesting. And that can go down.
We're back.
We're back. Itself. Very good.
Yeah, I'm back.
Apparently your mic's better as well. So that's
good.
Oh,
fantastic stuff.
Maybe it's the sound actually. Maybe it's the sound coming through off the stream. I have had that happen before where that will actually drown someone out because they're copying the sound. I don't know what it is about it. Matt Day's coming by the way, but he's having to wait pit exit for it to open for him to actually exit the lane. So he was forced to come in now. Again, would he have been better off staying out? You think about the amount of fuel they're being able to save here under these early safety cars, but we may be in a scenario where these guys could actually save maybe 10 litres of fuel, which could equate to as much as even 5 laps of this race. So if you're on the fuel save now, you may get away with absolute murder later on in pit lane in terms of getting a great amount of fuel on board this car and a great amount of fuel saved on board this car too. I had a report then that Goosey had an incident. I think it might have been lying to me. He's actually still going.
And so rounding out, lap 11 at the moment, still under safety car. So Scholes out in front, Blanchard, Hall, Monday, Corfidis. Duddle is back up in 6th at the moment. Cesar, Gully, Clifton, and Arnie rounding out the top 10 at this stage.
So to confirm, if we look at the pit lap on the tower, those that have pit on lap 6 or later have completed a CPS. Those that have pitted on lap 5 or earlier or haven't pit still need to do 2 stops to be classified in this race. So to think about the effect that's going to have on the top 10, you look to guys like Andrew Galley, who pitted on lap 5. Dave Duddle on lap 5. Corfidis Monday on lap 2. Hall on lap 1. And then Blanchard and Scholes, who've not pitted at all. All of those cars need 2 stops to get home. The unfortunate disadvantage for Matt Scholes and Chris Blanchard is they haven't taken any fuel at all in this race. The other guys have. So they are going to naturally drop behind that pack of cars later on here, especially with the longer this safety car goes on, the less fuel they are going to need later in this race. But the more advantage this is now giving to those that have pitted without having 2 CPSs. So this is tough. I mean, Damon is saying that Dudsy's back in this race.
Well, no,
he's not necessarily. He's not out of it necessarily. He needs to go long though, Brett, and he needs to plan these pit stops correctly now because he has to take 2 more. A short fill of 13 litres is not 13 seconds is not going to help him too much because that's a little under 30 litres. He needs to take 146 total, so he still needs to take 100 odd litres in this race. Kokoschki, who we assume already used his fast repair on lap 1, is having to fix this car in pit lane every time he comes by. And this may be an early curtain call on his season, perhaps, because that car is not so pretty. And it's going to be a monumental effort to get that car back up the order today to fight for the championship. Mick Clifton, by the way, has got a full tank on board his car at the moment, so he's actually filled this thing up to the brim and will be saving fuel now in the hopes that he can figure out if he needs a shorter stop or not to the end of this race, but he'll be loving the fact that he's able to save fuel through this safety car. But the other fact too is, though, he knows that depending on the amount of time that Stuart Hall can build upon him will depend if Stuart Hall completes his 2 stops ahead of Mick with only 1 more to go, or if he'll be behind him after this next pit stop period's been completed. Safety car's going to pull away from the field, though. We'll see what happens with Matt Scholes, the 2-time champion in the race lead. Has Stuart Hall strategized this now correctly to the point that he's back in this race, or is this a massive blunder that's going to end this championship before we even get to Bathurst next week, where Mick Clifton could be leading the championship? Time will tell. A lot of racing left to go, though. Anything can happen on the streets of Adelaide. Anyone can get taken out at any time. It could be a simple stroll through the park for you, or it could be a rabid dog attack in the bushes if you're not careful. So you've got to keep your race and your championship alive. So late on in the season here on the streets of the Adelaide Parklands area. Matthew Scholes, Chris Blanchard, they missed out on the opportunity to take a pit stop under this safety car where they'd have a significant advantage. They've had to give it up and hope now that they can push on for the next period of this race. The 3 cars in behind them, or the 4 cars in behind them, need compulsory stops to be completed, with Hall, Monday, Corfidis and Duddle still to come in pit lane. It's back to green flag running once again here on the streets of Adelaide. Scholes, the race leader. The corrected race leader at the moment is that man right there, the season 24 champion, the number 5 tuned X Drift Academy entry, Halil Cesar. He is the corrected race leader at the moment, knowing that the 6 cars ahead of him need 2 more pit stops to get their cars home and classified come the race end.
Adrian Zeal pit line. And Rick Viger, he's three laps down in pit lane, so he might have either waiting for his car to get repaired, or he might have had an early night.
That's right. We've got viewers over on the Infinity Broadcasting channel as well. Great to have you all watching over there. Majority of the chat is watching on the Vets channel today, though, as well. So that's the restream bot is sending the messages in between each chat out there. So thank you to the, I believe that's one of the representatives of Jet Murray Racing in the chat over there, watching along with us too. So great to have you watching along, getting involved in it too. Yeah. They are the majority is in the V8 Veterans channel stream, but we are streaming on both. It's getting happening though. Matthew Skulls, Chris Blanchard are getting involved in this one. You see Stuart Hall trying to get up there too. This is all happening now. Top 5 of this race, all Camaros on the road. Then it's 4 Mustangs to another Camaro. And Peter Kelleher, who does need his 2 stops tonight, up 21 positions into P11 after being a lap down earlier in the race. Could he somehow find some magic and get that car into a solid performance here tonight? Is it now a net reset for the majority of the field? Time will tell. We ride on board with Skulls, though, into the staircase.
A great section of track through the staircase. We see the cars bumping over the ripples. Very technical. And then coming up to here, trying to get the best launch you can out of here. Getting on the power. How does he get a run? Does Blanchard get a run? He sits in behind Gold.
Of course.
A little bit there.
The driver's eye on board the car here with Blanchard under brakes. See the wheel work in towards turn 9. You see there just a little bit of turn in just to check out what the grip's like on the turn into the corner, and then commits to the corner as well. You see the movement of the car ahead too. You see Skulls, he's just trying to aim the car early. You see what the turn in's like before he commits to the corner as well. So that's the sort of driving style these front runners are currently employing on board this setup, just to make sure they're confident on the corner entry here out on the streets of Adelaide. And it's a tough circuit to get confident at, Brett, of course. And the corners are the most important part that you've got to feel comfortable at.
And this is a big tough one down here. Getting this right, you get it wrong, it can cost you a slowdown.
I mean, the entry, that's a tough one, obviously, but it's turn 2, that's the problematic corner. Take a little bit too many liberties over turn 1. That's going to cost you turn 2. We know that. Matthew Day's back in pit lane, by the way, as well. But at the moment, Matthew Skulls is feeling the pressure here of Blanchard in behind as they ride up towards turn 7 once again. Lap 15, longest green flag period of the race thus far. Would be coming our way in a few laps' time if we would hold on to this. But good to see the racing that's starting to unfold. See David Duddle is just feeling the pressure at the moment as well from Cesar in behind. He's good to see him back out there after that incident on lap 1. See Corfiat is trying to make moves here early as well with Monday ahead of him. Cesar, though, will be happy with the fact that he has a car separating himself and Mick Clifton in corrected P2, but also about the fact that he has the opportunity now to actually hold Mick up, knowing that his teammate, the other championship contender in Stuart Hall, is just up the road from him.
Adelaide definitely provides, though. Great track. Most of the people I know enjoy the track, but it is a fickle beast.
I'm glad that most enjoy it, Brett. We're right on board with Scott McCune. I'm an enjoyer of this track as well. You can see the sort of tunnel vision you get in towards here, by the way. The wall of trees that you face on the entry. And just trying to get that entry correct is one of the toughest parts of the whole circuit.
It is.
Sitting behind Nathan Favero, Tony Chapman at the moment. We mentioned Chapman's involvement in that lap 1 incident at turn 1. We'll be obviously be able to get a better view of it to see if we can even make a determination on who may be at fault for that one. I have a feeling it may be more so a racing incident, though, more than anything, knowing it is off the race start. But yeah, certainly a fair bit of chaos has been caused tonight. A couple of drivers have been caught up in it. McCune lucky after that heavy damage earlier on to still be 15 positions up from where he started this race. So great job here today. Mulford's doing well after that huge wreck down at turn 9. Only a few laps to go. He's still P21 up 15. Darren Goosey up 13 as well into P27. This has been good to see from those drivers to keep their races alive. And even though Monday and Corfiatis, they're both up 18 into the top 5, They do still have to complete those 2 compulsory pit stops to get those cars home in this race. It'll be a heartbreaking result for them if they forget that they need 2 more and they think they only need 1 more in this one.
Yeah, and it's, as a driver, you try and concentrate on what's happening on track and around you, and sometimes those little things that are big things, don't get covered off.
We can see as well that Mick Clifton's finally gotten past Andrew Galley, so now he's on the tail of Halil Cesar. So what is going to happen? Because Clifton has to get through his main championship rival's teammate to chase him down. Tim Mulford has had a moment now down on the... is that the entry onto the staircase? That is. That's turn 4. That car's gone round. Not sure how it's happened. But the car is backed up alongside the wall. Has to wait very patiently to get it going again. He does. It's a lot of positions off, though, for Mulford.
Yeah.
But work to be done now for the Abbey Timber car of Mick Clifton. His best ever season here in Split 2.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say before, what a season Mick Clifton's had. What a cracking season.
I mean, simply unbelievable. But this is going to be a championship that he has to earn. Not only tonight at Adelaide, but next week at Bathurst as well. Yeah. He's coming up against a team that has fastly run up the orders of total amount of championships won. This would be their 6th this season if Hall were to win it, tying them first overall with the current leaders being Jamie McKnight's original team that he ran early in the days of Vets. Of course, Clifton wants to try and win another one for Accelerate Sim Racing, knowing Wayne Walker's success, and that would quickly fast-track Accelerate up the order as well in terms of total championships won for teams in this field as well.
And one of the other things we've noticed throughout this series that the time differential between nearly all of the drivers, the margin is so small, which I think has been a very good contributing factor to the close racing. All we just see, was that Cesar in the background just touching the outside of, he touched the wall, turn 8. He got into that wall fairly hard, a bit of dust flew up.
Very true. Mick Clifton saying that Gallen gets 1 win and gets a championship. What the? I mean, I know. Think about the fact that Shane Randall didn't get a single win, has never had a single win, and has got a championship 2 next to his name. So, it's the statistics are very interesting, but consistency is the main key. I mean, John Gallen was consistent throughout that season, but he took advantage of the fact that the other contender, Steve Lanyon, had a very poor day on the last day of the season. We've seen it happen before. We haven't seen it happen for a long time. It's actually, I don't think we've actually, I think we've only ever had one occasion in Gen 3 where the championship leader has not left the final round as the champion. That was back at season 23, where we had about 5 contenders going into the final race. So it's very rare that it actually happens, that the leader of the championship leaves the champion.
Blanchard closing
at the
on
end of the
Scholes.
final race. We can see up ahead, though. It is. It's side by side. Blanchard will get by. Scholes will tuck in behind. Could be a bit strategic here for Scholes, wanting to save a bit of fuel and just sit in behind him here. Not try and fight him too hard, knowing the gap that they have to build. Stuart Hall will be loving this, though, because they're actually dragging him forward. And they're building this gap for him. It's out to now 2 seconds over Matt Monday in behind, but a lot of clear track for Stuart Hall. Yep, Kelleher as well, who's getting involved in battles, has now gotten past Benjamin Brook, so he's now P11. See Brook now under pressure from Boardman in behind. Up 7 is Brook thus far, Boardman up 3. Both of them have done a pit stop, though, as they continue this fight in this race and continue to push these cars to absolute limits. Hall, by the way, running very fast in this last lap, 123 dead, same as Blanchard. Scholes with that slower lap time, of course, when he let Blanchard by, it was about a 124. The pack in behind them are not matching the pace. A 123.8 by the pack leader of Matt Monday. Corfiadis did a 123.57. That's not going to drag him anywhere. That was Monday, runs it wide down at turn 4, and that will lose him the lead of the pack.
There you go.
And that is a crucial loss of position. Now gives position to Yusuf Corfiadis, with Dave Dartle in behind him as well.
Well, we'll see if that pack, now being released from
Well, now they're
Right,
released.
blank
Now
there.
they're released from Matt
Yeah.
Monday. Is there going to be some
Monday,
time to be
yeah.
found for Corfidis?
Yeah.
Or is Hall, Blanchard and Skulls, are these guys now able to run the ball further up the field and further up the order of the circuit as well? That's the sort of pressure that's on their shoulders at this stage of the race for Blanchard and Skulls. As I said, they want to try and go long here. They probably want to go about 30 laps just to try and offset themselves a little bit.
And Favero,
Yeah,
side by side.
they are indeed. McCune finally gets that job done. We saw him earlier. I checked in with him earlier when he was in behind Favero. He's now got that move made and completed into P17, up 16 spots now as the hypersonic racing driver of Scott McCune. Good to see from him to this point of the race. Now the race has settled into its rhythm and our longest green flag period. This is the battle for the current corrected race lead. Halil says and Mick Clifton, 2-second differential in pit lane. But how much fuel saving did they do under those first two safety cars? And was it enough as Galley is now dropping position below Matt Monday? This is heating up inside of the back end of the top 10.
Yeah, Monday got sideways out of that turn. Galley tried to have a look there, couldn't see exactly what transpired, but he still popped in behind Monday. So a bit frustrating for Galley. I think he would have liked a pass there.
Of course, this being such a long race, no point trying to fight it too hard in the background. That was Chad Viger scraping the wall at turn 8. So the Angry Birds Kumo Tyres car maybe losing a bit of tread off the side of it. He's not careful, pushing the limits a little bit too hard. There was obviously been a lot of hits down at turn 8. One big one that I was actually watching back a few of the biggest hits down there earlier today, Brett. One was prior to them actually putting the barrier there and only having a tyre bundle, was Brad Jones rolling over in his very first season in the AU Supercar back in 2000 in a very violent incident down at turn 8. It's good to see they put the wall in eventually, which would save that from happening again. But still just as violent and as arguably unsafe as ever. There are a lot of mirrors. It's Mirror Alley. They should make it a disco ball wall. Make it reflect you. Maybe it'll reflect you off of it. Stuart Hall still running strong at the moment. Yusuf Corfidis has not managed to close out. In fact, it's actually risen out now to 2.6 seconds.
Well, he closed it a little bit there for a second, then he dropped off again.
Yeah.
Double right in behind him. There's a really close to double. Clifton tucked right in there as well. Monday's nearly 2 seconds off the back of Clifton now. Galley 0.2 off the back of Monday, so. And then we've got Arnie, Keller, Brook, Boardman, Verban, and Viger all on that little second train there.
Well, some cars may be carrying damage to this point. We know that Stuart Hall is, don't forget that. And he's got that right hand down at the moment. If we go on board his driver's eye, there you see it. That's the significance of that steering damage on that car, the slight right hand down. So the fact that he has now done close to 20 laps with right hand down steering. Remember, this was caused off the lap 1 incident in towards turn 1. The fact that he's gone this far with this sort of steering, and the fact that he avoided the lap 8 incident as well down at turn 9, unbelievable drive thus far for Stuart Hall, and one that proves that he wants to earn the championship here for season 28 of Split 2.
And you can see he's starting to drop off now, 1.5 seconds off the back. He was staying within that second range, but I think the wear on that tyre must be sort of having a bit of a play in that. You know, probably heating up a lot more than you'd like.
Had a great chat out there as well. Don't forget the tool that decided to put jumps in the middle of the turns the other year for trophy trucks. I was working turn 13 when one hit the wall and its fuel cell ripped out. So Adelaide's often been one for chaos.
Yeah.
Stuart saying would have been so much better if he had it. So he's never going to let me live that down that I forgot to tick the fast repair on that one. That I left him out there with a broken car.
Oh.
Well, feel happy with the fact that maybe I saved the fast repair in case the incident got worse and the car got worse. You know, maybe that was the... I just forgot to tick it. Not even going to claim that I forgot to tick it.
Wasted the fast repair.
Oh, that's right. You know, all of a sudden he doesn't have it and the race is over. You'd be happy I saved it at that point.
Still out there in third quarter of the month, so...
The car's looking pretty good apart from the fact that it's got right hand down steering. I mean... What a drive!
Do you know? I'd love it if they had the tyre bundles that when you clip them, you could sort of clip them a little bit, and the tyre bundle
And
sort
the
of
car
move,
rolls over it
you know.
like it
No.
surfers.
Well, no, not rolls over, but just how the tyre bundle, you can clip it a little bit, and it sort of you know, maybe just as that little flip, there's that little bit of give in it.
Yes.
Probably quite technical for them to do that in the sim, but anyway.
Quite possibly. Corfinas at the moment now starting to feel the pressure of Dave Duddle in behind him. Remember, both of these guys are in the same boat as the rest of the top 5. Need 2 compulsory pit stops to be classified as race finishes here this evening on the road here at Adelaide. Cars in behind them have taken their first of 2 in Cesar and Clifton. And Monday and Galley are in the same position before we get to Arnie, who's taken his first stop as well to this point of the race. We continue on forward though, lap 24 of 78. Chris Blanchard gets underway for lap 25. We are 1/3 of the way through this race. Blanchard is doing a hell of an effort here tonight to lead the way, but he does need those 2 stops, remember. What is going to happen when we get through pit lane once again here in Adelaide? We're not too far away, I would say, Brett, from next pit stop occurring on the road, but not necessarily for those that are needing the second one, as Monday and Galley together down towards turn 4, runs across the nose and then backs it into Dave Arnie. Unbelievable poor luck for Arnie down there. That front end of the Shadow Racing car of Andrew Galley has come off. Probably need to give the onus there to Galley on that one. Turned across the nose of Monday. Came around, backed it into Dave Arnie, and that is an unfortunate loss for Arnie down here at turn 4.
The action is definitely not over yet.
Definitely not. See, Adrian Zeal is now in a close battle as well with Simon Heddersheed back here. So Zippy will be open to try and maybe make some moves up the order. He's down 1 tonight. Oh, down 1, but opportunity to get up the order could be showing itself shortly.
Heddersheed's car showing some damage as well.
Uncle Fetus and Duddle.
Hall's managed to sort of, now I don't know whether Scholes dropped off a bit from Blanchard now. He's 1.2 seconds off the back. But Hall's was out to about 1.7 there, but he's managed to sort of pull that back to about 112. Now it's sort of climbing to that 1.5. So he's seesawing there a little bit. So he's still saying, he's in contact.
He's hanging pace with them.
Fetus.
And that gap's now to 3.3 seconds, by the way. So there's actually about a corner between them through the staircase. As they come up towards turn 7. But yeah, Hall's managing to hang on to them at the moment. But we need to watch him through the fast ride here of turn 8, because this is the struggle area for this car at the moment. Let's just watch how this car turns out. I mean, it's tentative, obviously. It's not too bad, but probably a heart and mouth, hold your breath sort of moment for him. And look at Duddle. He's already built up a second gap, by the way, back to Corfita. So he's definitely got the pace over him. Yeah. He's got work to be done now to try and chase this down. Dave Arnie now off the road as well. That is down. That's at the staircase once again. That's at turn 5. So one corner later, that car's gone around. The difficulty for Duddle is here. He's got to give up a further 10 seconds to the car ahead of him in Stuart Hall. So right now, he actually doesn't really have a hope in passing Hall once the 2 stops have been completed. And in fact, he's got to try and build the gap now to actually even just stay ahead of Corfitas through the next 2 stops as well.
Battle heating up between Doug and Toff, Taylor himself, Reynolds and Callaghan. So that's a pack that's having a decent little bit of a fight.
All happening. It's just being headed up here by Todd Duggan in the 511 Garage sim entry. As mentioned, he is making a move next season to a new team, but that is yet to be announced what team that will be for next season, but can confirm he has found a home for season 29 after his season of privateering for season 28 for him. So good to see him out there in new team colours, but also as part of a full team once again. Long has been the days since Todd Duggan has been a part of a fully fledged and fully flying team as what Nova once was many, many seasons ago. Scott McCune going slow. That car's got front end damage. He'll tuck him behind Andrew Galley. So both of these cars we're rolling around with exposed radiators together.
Yeah.
Todd Duggan's now going to try and go for it up the inside. He'll get that job done. See if he can hang on to it though. McCune tries to go for the switchback. Can't quite get there. Duggan will keep on going here. And push on now up into P18 on the road. Down, so he's up 7 in this race. And a good run for the 511 driver.
Now, there's a lot of battered and bruised cars out there. Like you're saying, Hall's carrying some damage, but there's a lot of cars throughout the whole pack that are still carrying damage.
Mr. Headersheet's saying that he's already on a 17X. Or was on a 17X by lap 7, so that's why he's maybe a bit tentative to roll around here. And that's a difficult part of this track as well, obviously, with the 17X incident point limits. Got to be cautious of incidents happening. You can't quite control when other incidents happen around you, but you can definitely control your own incidents. There you see the sort of gap that's now being built out back to Hall from the front to 1.7 seconds, but there is a natural 20-second advantage that Hall carries over those two cars. Send 3.4 seconds back to Duddle with Kofiadis in behind him as Dave Arney's in. Khalil Cesar, Mick Clifton, the corrected race leaders have got a 7.4 second advantage back to Peter Kelleher, who now leads this battle pack, but James Boardman is the corrected P3 runner to this stage. After a great start to this race, by the way, that'll put him up, if I do the quick maths, that'll put him up 13 positions in this race when he gets to corrected position.
Side by side.
Well, that is because McCune is struggling with the front end. He needs to bring the car into pit lane to fix it up, but he has already used the fast repair today. Remembering that he had that front wheel damage earlier on there, Brett. So he may want to try and do this at his regular pit stop. May even be hoping for a safety car to get the optional repairs begun when he comes into pit lane again.
Can you believe it? Lap 29 of 78 here so far at Adelaide.
It's been unbelievable. A real difficult time for these drivers today. Andrew Listner, still a clean car for him, but possibly could have used his fast repair already, not sure. Dave Arney is in pit lane and has been in pit lane for a fair while as Matt Scholes now to the race lead down at turn 9. So the two-time champion will take that back over Chris Blanchard. This is a battle of former champions. Blanchard won Split 3 previously. He was one of the first Split 3 champions, and Scholes one of only two-time Split 2 champions in this Split 18 season history as well, with Hall in behind them, who hadn't won his first race in Vets till this season. He's won 2 thus far back.
Here we go.
That's the bend, and back at Oran Park, side by side. Blanchard back to the race lead off of turn number 1 and 2. Scholes had a tuck back in behind him, and it's on between the top 2 in this race, continuing this battle. And once again, this is only helping Hall in behind them to close the gap and to push on from here. Stephen Kokoschke, though, massive mistake from the contender is at a moment, and this car is still sore and damaged. Oh, this is not going well for Synergy Sim Racing today, Brett.
No, not at all. Have a go at that, though. Like, Scholes said, no, I'm going to have a crack at this. Blanchard, only half a lap later, said, no, you're not, and took that back again. And as you're saying, Hall's now closed up to 0.7, 0.6, where he was out to nearly 1.7 at one point there. And if I say 1 point more than 1 point more time, that'll be a lot of 1 points in succession.
Well, Khalil Cesar apparently had a few wriggles across the circuit. The car looks fine and clean, though. Apparently it is fine right now. He's just pushing on in front of Mick Clifton at this stage. They've got Corfiadis ahead of them as well. Blanchard, though, the race leader, trimming down the... Stephen Koshi, by the way, saying he had 4 minutes of repairs on that car, so that's why he is just continuing to plug away out there and try and fix the car up every time he comes into pit lane. Yeah, Matt Monday's into pit lane. Toth's losing spots because he's involved in a battle as he locks it up in towards turn 10 and turn 11. Still going, though, with Wade Reynolds in behind him. Darryl Callaghan as well. Tight battle between some Mustangs back here. They're being held up by Scott McCune. Monday, we'll see when he comes out. So this is CPS number 1 completed for Matt Monday. on lap 20. Actually, no, that's a drive-through. He's actually just driven straight through. So that was a drive-through for Matt Monday. I have a feeling that may have been... Maybe he was found at fault for that incident with Andrew Galley, possibly. Maybe there was more to that one than we thought.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, that'll be interesting to dissect later, maybe.
Possibly. Blanchard's still running strong with Skulls and Hall on the tail. Duddle's now starting to chase them down. Corfidas is starting to chase down this gap as well, but is there any sort of fuel save happening just yet? Blanchard's going to come in, first stop of his race. But smart from them, though, to push this as far as possible. So Blanchard in. What is the extent of these fuel tanks? This will actually give us a good number on how much fuel may have been saved by those drivers who have stayed out to this point. Because there could be upwards of 13, maybe even 15 litres saved to this stage of the race. That is a significant advantage later on for those that have pit, but also for those that haven't just yet.
Yeah, sippy. Not sure what that means, but anyway.
Where'd you get that from?
Galling pit lane as well. I don't know. Like the fuel, just sipping at the fuel, saving.
Yes. Sip,
Sippy.
Yes, I got you now. So we'll see where Blanchard actually comes out, because this may give us a good indication too where the true position is of this car in comparison. Chad Viger, though, has had a moment. This is down at turn 5.
Oh.
That car in the wall continues to go, though, as he will tuck in just behind Todd Duggan. Remember when both those guys fought for a championship many seasons ago? Blanchard, by the way, has come out P25, about 50 seconds away from Matthew Skulls. Now, his pit stop was 32.3 seconds, but a significant loss for Blanchard in comparison. Skulls will now follow him in. So straight in for Skulls. Hall will now take the race lead, but remember, Stuart Hall can go significantly further if he wants to in those cars because of the fuel that's already been put in this thing. Roughly, it was a 22-second stop, just about roughly 47 litres extra has been put into this car. So he was running at the end of lap 1, start of lap 2, near on 120-odd litres on board this car. Tony Chapman in 2, so a CPS for him at this point of the race.
Tony Chapman and Favero were lucky when Viger spun there too, only a couple of laps back. They must have just missed Viger.
So Chapman will line up in the box to take this stop now. So where will Skulls come in comparison to Blanchard? A very similar stop length, by the way, 32 seconds for both of them.
Then.
He has, and he's coming out ahead of... that is... Oh, there's Tim Mulford. Skulls has actually jumped Blanchard in the stop, and it was a similar stop length for them both as well. So Skulls was very lucky to filter in so cleanly in between Blanchard and Mulford off of that stop.
Yeah,
that is
cold tyres.
Oh, that's right. Cold tyres, but fresh fuel. 2 of the freshest fueled up cars in the whole field. Freshest tyres in the whole field as well. Those cars will be fast. But what's this car going to be like when it comes out of pit lane next time by? What's the fuel going to be like? What's the tyres going to be like? You'd assume the fast repair is going to get used. Is the 49 car going to be a rocket ship? And what sort of track position is it going to be in as well? As Peter Kelleher will come in. First CPS for him for Synergy Sim Racing. He last pit on lap 1. Did not count the last time by. We know that the corrected leader is Halil Cesar. This stage of the race. Mick Clifton, though, will have a point to prove off of that, with James Boardman now up onto the corrected podium as well. Corfia to Studdle and Hall, we have to take those 2 compulsory pit stops.
Lap 34 of 78 here at Adelaide. So far, very action-packed start to this race. Settle down now in the midsection. Let's see if we can hold the clean running, get this all sorted, and have a good finish to this race. But it's mixed it up a lot.
As indeed, Kelleher will now exit pit lane, by the way. So a 32-second stop for him as well. Roughly 80 litres he's put in that car. So that's now back up to roughly the starting fuel. Into pit lane, though, will come Stuart Hall. So Hall in. Duddle will continue on. What is the stop length going to be for Hall? Chad Weiger's had another moment. It was down at turn 9. He's still rolling. I think it might have been just a minor park up for him. Let's see what the stop time is like for Stuart Hall here in pit lane. Needs to be a quick one if he wants to hold on to some track positioning, knowing the 21 seconds he's already taken in pit lane.
Tony Chapman just asking who's done 2 compulsory pit stops.
We'll be able to tell you that. We'll be able to tell you that in a moment. I believe it's going to be hard to predict because of when certain people have actually pitted. So Hall will exit now. 12-second stop. So he's taking about 23 litres there, Brett. Could be smart for him. Just offsets the fuel a little bit, but also actually holds track position. And this will be a fast race car now. Fresh tyres and a light fuel load. Watch this car across this stint. This could be one for possibly a top 5 now if he can hold on to this one and it stays green flag. So those that have pitted and done 2 CPSs to this point of the race, I think there's only one, which is Tony Chapman, and now Darren Goosey is the other. I believe they're the. I think Stephen Kokoschke has, but he needs another stop to get home. He hasn't pitted after the critical lap of lap 32. Yeah. Everyone else, I think, has to still take their second compulsory stop. So there's still stops to be taken. But it's a very long way to get home from here. If you've pitted now for your second stop, this is a very long way to get home and a very long way on tyres as well. And with the field spread like it is, without safety cars, it might hurt you a little bit later in the race. Stuart Hall's...
Sorry, say again?
No, I was about to say Stuart Hall's also celebrating too. He's actually now got his fixed steering on his car, so that car's now steering straight down towards turn 1. He'll have to relearn. But it's going to be fast now. This will be a fast race car. As Burns has been through pit lane as well. Michael Quain too in pit lane too. But yeah, interesting if we do get another safety car late in this race here, Brett. We haven't had one since obviously lap 9 when the second one was called. Been a few laps now since then. A bit of fuel save, obviously, I think, from these drivers. Up in between 10 to 20 litres is up ahead of Stuart Hall is his former teammate Todd Duggan, who's just had a minor spin down at turn 6 and 7. He will continue on. He'll move out the way of Hall. Let him go. Former teammates at Nova Sim Sports is McCune. He has, and that's why it's a spin down at the staircase towards turn 5. So this car is not healthy and happy today. And he's just ahead of Stephen Kokoschke. Both these cars without a front end. Duddle in. We know that he needs that. He needs 2 more stops to remember here, Brett. So we've got to keep an eye on Duddle. If he does not pit again in this race, he will get disqualified. Up on the jacks. We've got to watch for the stop time too, because he obviously doesn't want to take too short of a stop, because then we will be questioning if he does need another one. If he takes one that's too long, we'll be saying... If he takes one that's too long, we'll be saying, what's that about? You need one more.
Yeah.
Haven't really left any fuel in the tank for that one. So, Corfiadis leads the way, but the corrected leader is Halil Cesar. Mick Clifton, P2 to this point in time. This, though, is going to be an intense race battle to the end. Clifton has to take on his championship contenders teammate for a possible race win today. Fuel saving has been a major factor in today's race as well. 44.7, and that says to me, Brett, that he thinks he's legal at the moment. He thinks that car's legal on CPSs, and he hasn't actually planned for another one. And that says he's going to try and go to the end of the race, and he's going to get disqualified. That's what that 44-second stop says to me. Which is unfortunate for David, if that is the case. Yeah. That's a strategic blunder, obviously, and going from
pole position and having that unfortunate incident at the start.
But it's not over yet. He's not disqualified yet. We have to wait till the checkered flag. But if he doesn't pit again prior to the checkered flag, we will be saying at the end of this race he will get disqualified because he's broken the rules. Stuart Hall, Chad Weiger battling as well. Field spread has happened just about at this point, but we are well within pit stop period at this stage, where drivers are needing to take their second stop to get home. Some are looking to take their first of 2 CPSs still. Cesar will give up position there to Mick Clifton down at turn 7. So Clifton now into the corrected race lead, with turn 8 coming up towards them. Mick Clifton saying who needs the most fuel? Well, it was David Duddle. But actually, at this point, I'm not too sure, actually. That's tough to predict. That is tough to predict because of how altruistic. I would say it's Yusuf Corfidis. He needs 2 more stops. He's taking a 26-second stop. He probably needs about 90 litres to get home. So he needs a significant 2 stops to get home. Between yourself and Halil, it's about the same, 31 to place, 29 seconds. But if you've been fuel saving, then who knows what the number is? You know what I mean? So, but the fuel numbers are going to be altruistic, as I said, and really dependent on what if drivers have been fuel saving, where they are, and how they're going to be going towards the end of this race as well. Tight battle still continuing on back here, Brett. Tim Mulford leading this one as Blanchard and Scholes continue on. That there was Scott McCune just letting them pass as lap traffic. He's got Roy Clark in behind him as well as David Duddle has now gotten by Peter Kelleher too for position. But yeah, this little 3-way dance is heating up between Mulford, Blanchard and Scholes. All 3 drivers with split 1 experience. Only one of them with a championship as Mulford comes into pit lane.
Yeah.
Now goes back to being a one-on-one affair between the 2-time champion Scholes and the former split 3 champion of Christopher Blanchard.
Look, where are we? Todd Duggan, mistake for him inside of the midfield. That was off of turn 7. He is still rolling. Has now allowed Brett Taylor past him as well. As Duggan will continue to push on. Stuart Hall will get past Chad Viger. So this 49 MPI car has all of a sudden got pace once again here, Brett. Fresh tyres with a light fuel load on board this car. Roughly 50 litres on board this thing. This is a rocket ship out there. Don't be surprised if this thing gains some spots after the second pit stop. On maths right now, his projected pit out position is P20 or P19 behind Matthew Scholes and Chris Blanchard. But remembering the rest of the field needs another stop, he may come out at a much better position than that after the second the second proper pit cycles have been completed. This is great to see. Lap 40 of 78, so we're past the halfway mark.
No, indeed. And Kokoschki, by the way, as just mentioned, lap 41 is when his night is over, apparently. So he's only got 1 more lap until his race is over. Would not make 75% of the race, though, if he makes it to lap 41 here today, though, Brett. That will end the championship for Kokoschki when this is over. So we may just watch this just to see what happens, to see what ends it for who was the early favourite for this season's championship. Because this will be a championship killer, no matter what it is.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. It would have been good to see Kokoschki. He had that little bit of a break, then he managed to come back. It would have been good to see him sort of complete out the season without that break, but definitely broken momentum.
41 now for race leader Yusuf Corfidis. He is the only driver in the whole field that needs to do 2 compulsory pit stops. Everyone else who is still on the road only has to do 1 more here tonight. One or none more, I should confirm. 1 or none more as Kokoschki just scraped the wall. He is still rolling though. I think we actually have to wait for his lap 41, so we might be waiting for another lap here, Brett.
Yeah, right.
He is on lap 40. But we'll see what happens.
There
there it is. Into the wall. Down at turn 11.
And he's actually managed to get that car.
He got it spun round.
No, he's still going. Oh, no, it's smoking.
He's pulled it up, and there it goes.
Yeah.
That is done and dusted. Season over. Championship over for Stephen Kokoschki. Put a line through his name. Championship can no longer be won for the driver of the 851 Synergy Sim Racing Mustang. He can still find himself in Split 1 next season as Yusuf Corfidis comes into pit lane.
Yeah.
Mick Clifton, they will now roll on into the race lead. That was projected to be his. With 1 more stop left to go in this race. Is it Mick's to win? Is it his to lose? Is a safety car going to throw a spanner in the works. Only time will tell. What we'll do is, though, we're going to take this time to hear from our series sponsors, of course, SIMRIGS, before coming aboard this season and helping support the V8 veterans once again. Cars are in pit lane with Corfina, Svigo and Listener in. Clifton leads the way. Championship decided to come next week at Bathurst. What's going to happen in the rest of this one as we're into the second half of Adelaide? As everyone's pushing on. Don't go anywhere, though, while we hear from our good friends over at SIMRIGS.
SIMRIGS. I've actually built our first rig in Melbourne. It's featuring our new ASR chassis. So basically it's an ASR Pro with a cubic QS210 motion system with a cubic BT1 belt tensioner. Coupled it with an awesome set of LG ultra wides. What you've seen before, these are the new brackets that I've made for the cubic system to sit through the ASR, and you notice it's really low to the ground. We got it really low to sort of match a real car, you know, like a lot of motion systems sit quite high, and that's really annoying that you need steps to actually get in it. So now I've lowered it down, it's actually really low to the ground. The awesome thing with cubic is when it sits, it actually sits down like a real lowrider, and it only raises when it comes back and starts moving. Also on this rig we've got the fantastic SimiCube active pedals. Not going to get a better pedal on the market. Couple that with the SimiCube pedal. We've given it the whole Porsche livery and the Grid Racing by SimLabs Porsche wheel. So that just ties it all in together. So it's an awesome build. I really love these monitors because of the semicircle. You just look at, you're fully encapsulated. And being ultra wide, yes, they are a little bit narrow, but with the 45 inches, it is taller. It is, I think, about maybe 2 inches higher compared to a 32 monitor. The color that you get out of them is fantastic. Really nice and deep, good blacks, as any OLED should be. That's it, guys. We've got heaps more builds that we're doing at the moment. Our ASR containers arrived, so you'll be seeing them on our website as well. So, till next time.
Pit lane is a place to keep an eye on here in the SIMRIGS V8 Veterans Split 2 for Season 28. It's the penultimate round here, round 9. Adelaide, 250k, 78 laps. We're 45 laps in. Halil Cesar has been through pit lane out of P2 on the right, and he's come out P11 overall to this stage, just in behind Blanchard and Scholes, about 5 seconds up the road, but he's got to use the fresh tyres to his advantage now to push on and set some blistering lap times if he hopes to get any sort of advantage over championship contender Mick Clifton, who is still yet to take his second stop as he is about to enter pit lane. So we expect these stops to be of similar length. Cesar's was 31 seconds. The last stop for Clifton was 31 seconds. You think about the last stop for Cesar, it was 29. We expect this to be of similar length for Clifton. About 29 seconds to go in this car, but there could be significant fuel saving that may find this car in the race lead once again once it exits pit road. Brett Fisher, this has been an intense race thus far. One that I think could be won in pit lane as James Boardman now takes the race lead. So he get himself a bonus point for leading a lap here as well. For Mick Clifton, though, is this going to be the crucial race win that he needs to put the pressure back on Stuart Hall to end out the championship?
Oh, pressure, pressure, pressure.
Out of pit lane. That is a short stop as well. 22 seconds. So fuel save has come about for Mick Clifton. A huge fuel save for Mick Clifton. We'll find him in the race lead, possibly. Now, I wonder, is he fuel saved enough to this point, or is he planning to fuel save the rest of this race to make up the difference to the checkered flag? Because right now, he has got a 9.5 second advantage over Halil Cesar, who may not have a hope in hell of chasing him down if he can't find the lap time and pace that he needs to get this car up to the race lead.
Callaghan in pitch.
We got Corfeidis as well in behind Cesar. We know that Corfeidis still needs another stop to get home here tonight as well, Brett. He looks to have actually taken enough fuel in his last stop to make it home, so I don't know if he actually realises he needs one more to be classified today. Interesting to see what that case is going to be, but I have a feeling this car may fight to the end. Unfortunately, though, that may lead to him getting disqualified.
Time will tell.
James Boardman will begin lap 47 of this race. Abel Verban. Behind him there is Stuart Hall, Brett Taylor a bit further down the order, down the road from them, sorry, up 27 at the moment. Todd Duggan into the top 5. Then there's Mick Clifton, the number 1 seed driver at the moment, who has taken the second compulsory pit stop today. Brett Fisher in behind him. Go Brett. To Matthew
Yep.
Scholes and Chris Blanchard to continue their battle. A little Cesar. Then makes up the top 10 with a massive slide through the final quarter. He's pushing this car hard to chase down Mick Clifton. I have a feeling that this may be day done in terms of that fight, because without a safety car intervention, 10 seconds is going to feel like a world away for Cesar, because right now it's about 2 corners as Hedersheed brings his car into pit lane.
Just lost a couple of spots in that last couple of turns, all of that.
Fuel saving could be the key to victory today here at Adelaide. Not just the survival of skipping off the walls and over the curbs. Keep the car underneath you as well. So Boardman, who leads, to his teammate Hall, who's now gotten past Abel Verban. And then Brett Taylor back in P4. Todd Duggan inside of the top 5. What a drive for him thus far. But again, bit of field contamination to this point here, Brett. We still need second pit stops completed for a lot of cars in the field. The one thing we know is Mick Clifton and Halil Cesar are the corrected top 2 in the order right now. The question is Boardman going to be corrected P3, or will it be his teammate Stuart Hall possibly in that corrected P3 position?
Yeah, it'd be good once to see all these stops completed. We'll get a normalised field and we'll see where everyone's at.
Well, looking at the projected pit out position of Stuart Hall, he's actually projected to come out just in behind Yusuf Corfeidis. So he would be corrected P3, although in saying that, Boardman is corrected order, projected to come out just ahead of his teammate Halil Cesar. So even then, I'm unsure of where this is actually going to lie there, but could be a good finish for that team at the end of this race.
A couple of guys doing the fastest lap of their race. Nathan Vero, listener, doing a fastest lap of their race at this point.
You can see as well, tight battle happening here between Dave Duddle, and then he's got Wade Reynolds, Darryl Callaghan in behind him, but we know that Dave needs another stop here tonight. Brett, the fuel numbers say that he doesn't. I think that's because he's actually miscalculated when he came in for that first stop, and unfortunately, we believe he will get disqualified come race end unless he traverses through pit lane one more time. I mean, all he's going to do is come in for 1 litre of fuel and come out again, Brett. He's only going to give up
Yeah,
35 seconds. Dale Callaghan, though, with a spin down at turn 5. Caught the rear end of the car somehow. Will keep pushing it on, but that was so awkward and close for him. There's a bit of inter-team battling happening here in the chat at the moment. Hillel says is copping the flack from Stuart Hall for not holding off Mick Clifton enough throughout the race.
Righto.
Oh, to be in that position, hey Brett, to be in the position where you can complain your teammate hasn't done a good enough job of holding another driver back for you. All this is happening. We've got a lot of love out there for the Accelerate Sim Racing driver Mick Clifton as well, from his wife, Beck, of course, who's been a long-time supporter of the rock star. He's doing a good job here today in the corrected race lead. This will be his first race win worth the points in one race outing, Brett. Remember, he's won those 2 races prior this season at Winton, which won him the round. But if you recall, himself and Stewart have got the same amount of race wins this season, but not the same amount of race win points because of that differential. So this would actually equalise them up a little bit with Mick taking his 3rd win if this were to happen today.
Hey, great to see the support from Beck too. That is huge.
It's good to see.
She's been on there.
Really
She's been pumping the chat up. It's great.
And I'm sure the watch party next week at Bathurst is going to be a big one, depending on the outcome of the season for Mick, of course. But I think both drivers have got an uphill battle. This is a season where there's a lot of parallels between them, Brett. Both drivers took their very first Vets win this season, got 2 wins in that as well. And, I mean, this could be obviously the 2nd round win for Mick today, which would match him to Stewart. Opposite cars, the Camaro versus the Mustang. It's Todd Duggan. That was Todd Duggan, who's had a minor spin down at turn 6.
Wow.
That car is going again, but that was very, very close. Yeah, you think about the parallels. Obviously, Accelerate Sim Racing, a slightly younger team than Infinity Motorsport, but a team that success has come in a very similar period to Infinity Motorsports, just at the higher level of Split 1 for Wayne Walker, of course. So for Mick, this is something of a proving ground for himself, as Boardman's now into pit lane. Oh, he's overshot the box just a little bit, but he will keep going. His teammate Stuart Hall now takes the race lead. But there's similarities, and the comparisons can be continued to be made day after day and race after race here, Brett, as well. But what we're going to be getting is an all-time championship finish next week at Bathurst between those 2 drivers. That's what we're going to be getting, and it's going to be a straight-up head-to-head. You know, the other differential is the experience factor between those 2. Stuart Hall has got 50 races advantage over Mick Clifton in terms of race experience in Vets. The other difference is, though, Mick has about 100 odd races more race experience in Split 2 than what Stuart Hall has, who's only ever raced in Split 1 prior to this season. So a lot to be said leading into next week's race. It's going to be an exciting one.
Oh, and the other thing we can say too is that Bathurst is Bathurst.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that in itself,
well,
there's no guarantees.
There's not, but you think back to their performances back at Bathurst as well. I mean, Mick having that top 5 finish at Bathurst with that P5. If I look here at Hall's finish back there, I think it was a very similar finish. I think it was actually a top 10 for Stewart, but a top 10 that only came about because he didn't get he didn't clue in on the early pit stop strategy for the critical lap safety car. So that's something that really held him back.
On the cards, we're in for a great race.
We are,
but you never know what can happen. So, like we saw tonight, you know, like those 2 early safety cars, and that was an absolute mayhem.
Bathurst, Mick Clifton finished P5. Hall finished P8, but he started P5. So they're of about a similar pace going into this final round. 300-kilometre race, though. A lot of strategy is going to be needed to win that one, obviously, and a lot of strategy is going to be needed to do well there as well. It's going to be tough to see who has the advantage. I mean, I think you're going to have to be the one that kind of gives the advantage to anyone, if there is one, Brett, as you've nearly put it in the wall down at turn 4. I may ask you post-race, we'll lay out all the things that are available to those drivers, and you can maybe give your opinion on who you think may be the statistical favourite going into next week, or who you think could be one to snatch it away. I'm not going to give my opinion because it's obviously a level of favouritism that I can have. But obviously you've got an unbiased opinion in this. As Scott Weston has had a moment, and no, it's not a moment. He's exiting pit lane. I've just had about 10. I've had 10 red notifications come up of Scott Weston crashed over and over again, and it's just that he pulled the car up at pit lane exit. So thank you for that, iRacing. So when does Stuart Hall come in for this final stop? He is projected to exit pit lane roughly where Yusuf Corfiadis is. Can he put this car... And what a comeback this would be for Hall, by the way. Think about the race that he's had, Brett. Started inside the top 10, got clobbered off the race start in that incident. Didn't get the fast rear, has taken 3 stops in this race when he takes his next one, and run around for about a third of the race with steering damage.
Yeah.
What a drive from this car and this driver. For this, a pure comeback drive for the ages.
Knucklehead Fisher in pits. Lap 53.78. So we're starting to get down. Starting to wind these laps down now. Still a lot of racing to go. Still a lot of things to happen.
Oh!
Ernie Toth.
That is Ernie Toth around. Maybe he should have stayed in the Camaro. Wouldn't have maybe had so many issues with the car, possibly. Just saying. Brett Fisher's in pit lane.
Yep.
So looks to exit pit road now as well.
Pit
Hall, though, the race leader. When will he come in? He's been on this fuel strategy and tyres for 20 laps. If he comes in this time he'll be running the tyres and fuel to the end for 24 laps. He has got a little bit of fuel advantage to his name, though, as Brett Taylor will now come into pit lane for his final stop of the race. So good stop for Brett here. We're waiting for Skulls and Blanchard through their final stops as well. Cesar corrected P2 at the moment in behind Clifton. Corfiadis needs a stop. We know the issues that Boardman had previously in his final race. He's actually down the order now as well. Oh, actually, I think I noticed him, Brett. He's actually had a long stop. He got put up on the jacks twice. 48 seconds was in pit lane for Boardman. He had technically 2 stops. He's got put up twice. That's actually killed his race.
Yeah, right.
I was wondering where he went, and that's where. Up and down off the jacks. Twice by in pit lane. It's going to hurt your race 10 times to Sunday. So will Stuart Hall come in this time by? Will he continue on for a little bit longer? What about Matt Skulls and Blanchard? Will they look to come in too? Skulls is in. So final stop of the race. The 3-stopper. The one that you may have thought on lap 1 was going to be a race killer for the 49 car, the championship leader. Mick Clifton will take the race lead and will have 24 laps to complete in this race before he is a 2-time round winner this season. As he'll come around the final corner, he will pass Stuart Hall in pit lane. What is the gap going to be for the 2 championship contenders this season? Clifton to the lead. Where?
He's still on the jacks.
He is. Blanchard Skulls come past as projected. Cesar comes past. Hall's dropped now. So Corfiadis will get past him. But we know that Corfiadis is at risk of disqualification. So Hall is projected and corrected P3 at the moment. What a drive to get that car back to where it is. And he's on the freshest stuff in the top 3 right now.
Straight from the grocery store.
So Mick Clifton will now be able to cut down not only on laps led, but points on the board that he can gain. Obviously, he gets a bonus point for leading a lap. He could lead most laps to the end of this race. That would get him a bonus point. I don't believe he's on a 0x, so he can't get that bonus point to his name. He could still get fastest lap, though, and obviously can't get the pole point, too. So at most, Mick Clifton will come home with 184 in this race. He was very close. Very, very close. But yeah, at most, he'll come home with 184. Hall has led a lap. So but he could also get fastest lap. So at most, at the moment, if he were to finish P2, he would come home with 179. cutting down the gap by 5 points, so down to 9, separating the two of them. Not the tightest championship lead we've had, but definitely one you don't want to sniff at.
Oh, no. I just wonder whether the split 2 boys could sneak into the Zoom wall for split 1 and get an extra point in there. I bet you it doesn't say anything in the rules.
You know what? If there's nothing in the rules about it, they should do that. Why not? Bonus point galore.
Oh, Toff, I think that was behind having a bit of a slide.
They'll be wondering how you've gotten 10 bonus points for the last round without using the Zoom wall.
Unbelievable. Anyway, you move on.
So Toff is still rolling here at this stage. Verban, Viger, and Favero. Tight battle as well with some training behind them. Peter Kelleher, by the way, still needs his second compulsory pit stop of the race. A second compulsory pit stop. So we are awaiting that car to come in. Bit of damage on the front end. So interesting where everyone's going to be placed on it. This is going to be a very tough one post-race for race control to figure out actually where drivers are corrected in the order because of some of those strategies that were actually played out. And I do not envy the job of race control. There are a few that are obvious to us, of course, that we've been focusing on, i.e. Scholes, Blanchard, or Cofidis, or Duddle from earlier in the race as well. Those are obviously obvious to us because we've been focusing upon them. There are others that may have gone under the radar that we missed. So
bit of a deep dive.
That's right. Andrew Gelly, though, luckily he's done a third stop in this race. It was against his will when he came in to fix his car. He has done a third stop. But yeah, there are some that are more obvious than others against their will, we will say, throughout this one, obviously. Vero's now got that job done over Viger. He's got Listener in behind them too as they continue to fight up towards turn 4 at this point in time. It's going to be an interesting race to the end here, Brett. We're going to have 21 laps to go when Mick Clifton crosses the line next time by. 21 laps. He can't get driver of the day, unfortunately, Andrew. Stewart's already won it this season. He won it back at the Bend when he won his first race of the season. But definitely one to talk about that could be a contender for sure. But one thing I do actually need to confirm, actually, because I'm not quite sure, Brett, and you might be able to answer this better for me, obviously having Bruce McLeod in your team. May have spoken to him about this before as well, as Chris Blanchard comes in. If they would have finished where they are, right, with Clifton P1, says a P2, but Cofidis in the P3 position with Cofidis getting disqualified, would Hall take over the P3 points, or would it just be that Cofidis is disqualified and Hall's on P4 points for this race?
I would have no idea.
Okay, because I'm of the believer that he should move up a position because the car in front of him is not finished.
If you get a DQ, Blanchard, if you get a DQ, wouldn't it all shuffle up?
Well, this is what I'm confused by because I've seen it before where it hasn't, and that's why. That's one thing that I kind of look to and I think, well, surely it should. Surely everyone else should move up a spot because the car ahead of them's been disqualified. And they're technically a non-finisher. So I'm unsure. I'm not sure how that's actually going to work. Because obviously it means we have to do some maths, right? And where everything's going to be sitting. So if someone's ahead, if Cofidis is ahead of Hall and say Hall's P3, where does that put the championship? You know what I mean? It's important for us to actually be able to do the maths. But that's what I'm kind of trying to figure out. So we're still waiting on Kelleher to take this second stop. As well as Cofidis inside of the top 10. I'm unsure about the likes of Verban because we haven't actually noticed when his first stop was taken in this race. Yes, there is still a wild. Yeah, the wild card is still available for driver of the day, Andrew, but it doesn't overcome repeat of driver of the day. Wild card is only available to use extra for a race winner. So we don't use it as an extra to give it to someone that for a second time, as Dave Arney has gone off at turn 5 once again into the sand trap. That car will get going once more. We can, though, however, double up in the last round. I will just quickly confirm that. We can double up next week at Bathurst.
And he definitely hasn't had a night tonight.
No, he has
The
not.
Roars a bit. Although
No.
the car's looking straight, so that's a bonus.
That's right. Pete's mentioning the fact that I think he's not going to be taking his second compulsory pit stop today. That's okay. A couple of other drivers do the same thing in this race. It appears that it's a tale of today's race, unfortunately. Halil, I will confirm for you, DQ is worth 0 points. The confirmation I'm wanting is, though, doesn't mean that someone gets promoted up a position.
Points shuffle up. Yeah.
I'm a believer that it
Oh,
should. That it should go up. You should move up a position because the car's not finished in front of you. They're nothing.
Yeah.
It's not like
That's
magically
what I would've
P2 no
thought.
longer exists. It's that the person who was in P2 doesn't finish in P2. That's what I think it should be. But anyway, that's just me.
There was a bit of chat there before. I noticed Kokoschki saying that he wasn't going to run next week.
Yes, I saw that.
So
Interesting.
which is
We know.
Yeah,
well,
I don't
well,
know.
we
I
know.
mean-
We know mathematically he's out of the championship right at this point, right?
yeah,
so it
but
would take.
still, I'd, if it was me, I'd drive for honours.
Well,
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
well, one thing I do think is Dave Arney's had another moment. This time it's now at turn 4.
Oh.
That car's
Yeah.
off the road. Well, I think of it as right. So Stephen, more than likely on his best 6, is likely going to be going up to split 1.
Definitely, yeah.
Being that 3 of them are race wins.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he shouldn't race at Bathurst. I mean, you could. I'm of the opinion, though, that... See, I'm of more of the opinion if you haven't raced more than 4 rounds in a season, should you be allowed to race in the last round? And I'm of the belief that no, you shouldn't. Because you could have a hand to play in the championship that you've had no hand in playing at the whole season. Stevens had a hand to play in the championship all season, so therefore I think he should be eligible to race.
Yeah.
what
He's
I mean?
saying he's just saying there. I'm still working away, so that may not happen anyway.
That
so,
may not
And
happen.
It is what it is.
That's obviously a
It
fact
is
to
what it
think
is.
about, of course. So
Yeah.
Stuart Hall is currently chasing down Yusuf Corfidis, a position on the road, but on the timing sheet it's nada because Corfidis still needs one more stop. So corrected order right now, Hall is P3. Is it worth P3 worth the points? Who knows? We need that confirmed for us in the back end. Mick Clifton saying Steve can pre-qual and make split 1. Oh, he's raced more than 6 races though, Mick, so actually he doesn't get to pre-qual. Because he raced more than 50% of the season, he would be judged upon his 6th best.
Yeah. So I would say at this point, and I am not any privy to any information at all, but I would say Kokoshi's definitely heading towards
Well,
one.
that's the thing about it. Kokoschki, Clifton, and Hall,
Yeah.
they're all going to up.
It's just a shame that he couldn't finish out the season.
That's right.
You know, with the momentum he had.
Well, that's
So,
right.
But anyway,
We know that for best 6, they're going to be the 3 best of the best 6. It's whether who the other 2 are. Probably going to be Chad Viger and Simon Heddersheet, more than likely. Maybe Scott McKenzie, depending on his last round as well. Although he's not racing today, so who knows? But yeah, I mean, there's a lot obviously to discuss prior to the last round next week. Next season's going to be an interesting one to see who may come down. There's going to be a lot of pre-qualifiers. I know that. A lot of very fast drivers are going to have to pre-qualify for next season as well who haven't participated a lot this season, and where they end up, that's going to be one key thing. There were some drivers that started this season and haven't finished this season. We look to the likes of Steve Grumley, Steve Lanyon, Joel Oosterval, who all started the season doing a couple of races but haven't raced the whole season once again, which was a real shame, as Matt Scholes and David Duddle have had a moment down at the final corner, and Duddle there nearly backing it into Todd Duggan, just about missed him. I don't know how he did that. Oh, but Duddle pulls out right in the way of Matt Monday. Unbelievable moment between them. Well, this may force Duddle to take his 3rd and final stop today.
Yeah.
But that is significant in terms of race finishing positions for some drivers. Tell you what, Todd Duggan, good race today, even after a spin earlier, up into the top 20 in one of his final drives as a privateer before moving to his new team next season.
Hey, Pete Kelleher, he's done all these stops, hasn't he? And he
No, he has not. He needs one more.
Okay. Yeah, righto. So that's a great drive from him there. Unfortunately, got to do another stop.
So we know that Pete
Further down the
and
field.
Court, we know that Pete and Yusuf need one more.
Yeah,
there is
yeah.
a way that we can actually check this, which is going to be... this one here, pit stop lap. So Pete
Right.
pitted on lap 2, so he needs another stop. Duddle, we know, pitted on lap 5. Why is it showing me those drivers and not there? Okay, it's broken apparently.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh wait, no, it's not. I have to actually select the correct thing.
Right.
So let's do that right now.
So you're broken.
Yes, I've broken it apparently. So if we look here for the top 10, well, it's these 5 cars. So Kofita's pitted on lap 2, so he needs to do it again. Kelleher's in the same boat. Hall pitted on lap 1, but we can see there he's done his 2 stops, 34 and 54. Yeah. So that is the strategic differential between those drivers. So Verben and Favero are clean and clear. As Monday is in. But yes, Corfidis does need one more. But at the moment, the way that he's been fueled up and the way that he's still going does not say to me that he's going to be coming into pit lane. So I have a feeling that disqualification is going to be on the board for the unhinged Camaro come race end. Then that begs the question, does that mean that whoever finishes behind him goes up to his position, or does he just get scratched off and then the points behind remain what they are? We're both of the agreeance that we think they should go up position and they should get his position worth the points. And that he's just a null and void, as Mulford has been in. Joe Mahoney's had a moment though. That's down at turn 9. He is still going though to this stage. Work to be corrected. I don't think Tony Chapman's claiming he's going to get a split through. I don't think Chapman has any chance of that happening because of his qualifying pace alone.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, Chapman.
Strategy blunders, regardless, the qualifying pace alone would say no.
Yeah. So Brett Taylor, I believe he's legal. He's legal, so he's up 18 spots at the moment. That's a great race for him so far. So that's good.
Brett is legal. Brett is legal.
Yeah, there you go. So he's up 18 spots. So he's had a cracker. Andrew Liston up 7, Benjamin Brook up 10, Nathan Favero up 6, Adel Vivan up 9. So there has been some shakers and moves. Daryl Callaghan up 11. But there's also been some big losers, unfortunately, tonight.
Well, they have indeed, and this is going to be the obviously interesting case going forward of where everyone is going to be sitting in terms of their championship standings, how the points are going to be after this round. Obviously, this now changes up certain drop rounds available to some drivers as well, Brett, and actually changes up what drop rounds certain drivers are using this season as well. Let's look at this. Stuart Hall has now caught the back of Yusuf Corfidis. So you would assume that they don't know Corfidis is getting disqualified at this point, thinking he may need another stop. So now this is a race on. Corfidis obviously doesn't know because he's still pushing. Let's see if there's any team play here for Cesar and Hall. If they know that Corfidis is getting disqualified, they may just let him go and then say, we'll finish behind him, we'll take his points. But time will tell.
Chapman, and Chapman now getting back past Boardman.
Oh, that's why Boardman's in the wall. That's down at turn 9. Remembering fast repair has already been used on this car today. That was early on. Minor front end damage on the Watton Mechanical Camaro, which has had some strong finishes this season. Remember back at Bathurst and Sandown, the podiums that this car took. He wanted another solid result here today. A blunder in pit lane where it put him up twice on the jacks, ruined that opportunity, and this one right here could end it very early.
Yeah.
So it should be maybe a quick stop just to get the front end put back on and back out on the road again. But the hopes of a top 5 or even a podium are now gone for that car. On the flip end of town, his teammates, well, they look to be on here for a double podium, Brett. which could be an all-time. This would be the first time this team has had a double podium, at least in the Gen 2 era, I can say that. Oh, the Gen 3 era, I can say that for sure. Here in Split 2, I'm not sure about the Gen 2 era, but if it was Gen 2, it's a very long time since that happened. And I don't think it's ever happened here in Split 2, so this could be a great result for this team. Not to take away from the result, obviously, of Mick Clifton. I mean, what a drive for him today with a little over 10 laps to go in a race-winning position. His first full round single win of the season it would be after those 2 race wins at the sprint round at Winton. This is a significant result for Mick if he can pull this off, and one which was crucial for him to get in this championship. Now, next week at Bathurst, let's say today, Stewart, if Stewart finishes P2 today, right, 179 we mentioned, it'd be 5 points differential possible between the two of them. Means that it then drops down to 9 points next week at Bathurst. That is a 5-position differential between them at Bathurst next week, is what Mick needs to beat Stuart Hall by when we go racing on the mountain.
Nice and close.
Very close. And as it's been, and there is Boardman. Boardman's actually come out of pit lane, and that car's broken again.
Yeah, wow.
So that car's come straight out of pit lane, and it's broken again. So actually, that car will be back in pit lane, and that'll be day done. That is day done for that car.
That right front is pointing to the nether.
I look forward to watching back through all these incidents today, Brett. We've got a long time to go. We're not too late today either because of the last week's offset race start because of the Pro Series event. Tonight we have time to run through the highlights, and it's exciting when we get to, because we get to see all the stuff that we missed as Boardman parked the car up at the end of the day, and that is it, done and dusted here at Adelaide for that car.
He was saying, Dave Duddle too, he hasn't actually come in for that third stop. He's hanging out there, I think, if that's correct.
So, Chris Blanchard, by the way, saying in the chat, saying, well, it should be that all cars get elevated. Otherwise, it could be manipulated as a team tactic to deny someone points. So I agree. I think it should be. Nathan saying, I had to fight hard to get P1 in points in a different split when I finished P2 and leader only did 1 CPS. I mean, it's true. I think everyone should be elevated, of course, as Boardman. Oh no, Boardman's come out again, and that so that car is done. It needs to come back in pit lane. Very weird. I thought he had parked up at that point. Apparently he hadn't, but okay. Looks to be that he will be parking up again. So I think everyone should get elevated, so everyone gets points. Yeah, this is down at turn 9. That's a good move. Lap 69 of 78 to this point. Stubble and Mahoney fighting for position as well. They've got Roy Clark, who has been a lap down the majority of this race since that early incident on lap 1. Yeah, that's right. Andrew Hoffman saying Clifton's driving around stubby and hand waving at the ground. I mean, why wouldn't he be celebrating this race? But now this win may be easier, obviously. But next week at Bathurst, I think it's going to be anything but, Brett. Because I think back to the last time we were at the mountain, not round 1, I think back to last week at the Pro Series Gen 2 race that we ran for the Vets. And Clifton had an absolute shocker, caught up in nearly every incident he possibly could in those Gen 2 cars.
And Boardman in pit as well, so he's brought that car back to pit lane.
And I think that's it for him. So Clifton, who had an absolute mare last week when it didn't matter in Gen 2 at the Vets event for the Pro Series, is there going to be anything hanging over his shoulder going into next week at Bathurst, or is he going to be able to shake it off and just push on and try and win the championship? Because really, the pressure is on Mick more so than Stewart, because Stewart knows he has pace at Bathurst. He just needs a top, I think it's a top 4, depending on the point differential, and he'll win the title. Mick has a lot more work to do than what Stewart does.
Trying to keep on with other racing going on.
We see that Hall is still just parked up behind Corfias at the moment. Again, this is technically a not-for-position battle because of the disqualification that's looming over the head of the 230 car. Chad Viger, though, is fighting hard with Nathan Favero. They've got Abel Verban up the road from them, as well as Andrew Lister in behind, who's had a great season. Averaged finished about P20 last season. He's upped that this season to averaging around about P12 on the road. A great performance upgrade for Andrew Lister in Split 2. And a great finishing upgrade for him as well. And what's been a fantastic season of building. One that we hope for him next season will continue to be built upon.
Yeah, there's definitely been some shakers and movers in this split this season. I'll tell you what, the guys have definitely leveled up.
Indeed.
Brett Taylor in the 12 at the moment, sitting on the back of Tony Chapman in the 11.
I tell you what a drive for Brett today, by the way. It might be one of the front runners for driver of the day at the moment in terms of the position gainers today. I mean, I've probably got two front runners at the moment in Halil Cesar and Brett Taylor at the moment. I mean, Halil's had a great drive up in P2. Even if he gives up that spot to his teammate, I still think that's a great drive and a good return to form for him. And then, Brett to be up 19 spots, avoid the damage and avoid the carnage early. That's a phenomenal drive for him. And a few others as well. Abel's doing well, as is Nathan Favero too. I think all those guys are all having a great race. But then even Andrew Lister as well. So it's going to be tough to really nut it down to 4. But I think out of those 5, we have got the 4 names we're going to be picking. It's just which 4 we do pick. As Dave Duddle has had a moment now. That's down at turn 11. That car has been into the wall. Doing his best Mr. Bean impression to get it turned around as if he'll get past. But that car has been in the wars today.
Yeah. A lot of cars been in the wall.
And actually, he still hasn't been in for his 3rd stop, by the way. No, so he's continuing to roll on for nothing at the moment, which is unfortunate.
Weston coming in. He should have taken Weston's advice.
We've really set out the laws of debate in the chat there, and I think what I've actually been confused with. So whenever someone gets a points penalty, the person behind does not move up position. That person just moves down because of the points. I believe a DQ, technically the car doesn't finish, so everyone should move up a spot. But we're going to have the answer. We'll have the answer given to us when the points are updated tonight or tomorrow. We're hoping that the points are updated fairly quickly, even though Split 3's broadcast is Monday night with John Van Ray at the helms. We hope the points are going to get updated before then, because I'd like to figure out where we all lie prior to next week. Yeah. And I'd like to find out fairly quickly, personally.
Just so you know what needs to be done.
That's right. Stuart Hall will try and line this up for turn 9. Not that it's a move that really matters to this point of the race, but we have a feeling that he believes it might be. So Hall's trying to get a wriggle on and push this car forward with what will be 6 laps to go when they get to the line. Only one car is on a 0x. One car is on a 0x to this point, by the way. I assume it's Chris Blanchard if he's mentioning it, but I don't know. But one car on a 0x. This is great. Tony Chapman saying he didn't get the points when Tanik was DQ'd at Fuji, so I don't know. But we believe they should. Maybe we need to start a petition. If a driver's DQ'd, everyone should move up a position.
Put up a poll.
Yeah, we'll put it up in the Discord. Corfitas now trying to go down the inside of Cesar. He'll move to P2 on the road. Here comes Holdo, straight past his teammate. Cesar will give it to him. So now all of a sudden, they sit pretty. And you'd think here, Brett, that, well, no matter if they get past Corfitas or not, those two Infinity Motorsports cars, I don't think they'll change positioning because of what's needed for Hall's championship charge. As that's Adrian Zeal on the side of the road, they're just letting them pass as well. So very gentlemanly thing to do for the lap traffic of this stage of the race. But This is now on for Hall and Corfiadis.
Darren Goosen just getting past Andy Toth. Tell you what, that battle still for Van, Favero, Viger, Listener, and Brooke.
Oh, that is on
see.
as Verben ran wide and into the wall.
Yeah.
So this one is on for young and old. Unbelievable race between them. And you see Chad Viger there, front of the car, carrying a bit of damage on the Kumo tyres entry. Still running strong though to this point of the race. 5 laps to go. One thing we do have to point out as well, Brett, before next week's race in Split 2, when you've got your retros on, leave them on until Sunday.
Yeah.
We want them on the broadcast on Saturday. As Ernie
that was
Toth has
someone
had a
in the-
moment
that
further
was-
up the road. That was Ernie Toth. There he is there in that
There he
Jason
is there.
Richards tribute livery to that's not the Sim Blacks, it's Team Kiwi Racing entry.
Team Kiwi Racing, yeah.
So Mick Clifton is 4 laps away from his second ever round win here in V8 Vets and first single race win worth of points. A significant result for a tenured driver of Split 2, a driver who's had race wins in other portions of this category through other leagues. Has only ever had the 2 race wins in V8 Veterans before this. That was back at Winton. This is his first full distance race win in terms of a non-sprint round, Brett. So this is a significant one for him when he gets this one done.
Huge effort.
A huge
Absolutely
effort.
Huge.
It right now will not be good enough for the lead of the championship. But right now it is good enough to at least shrink that gap a little bit and put the pressure as that is Roy Clark blowing the engine on the back straight right in front of Simon Heddersheed. That was very, very... I don't understand though how in the hell he blew the engine there, Brett.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, well, that's an interesting one. So
That could have had
I don't think-
significant...
or could have.
It could have had a very significant result on the championship. Mick Clifton could have been caught up in that in the wrong moment.
You know, and are we going to see a safety car? I doubt very much we will, but depends on where that car finishes. Its run.
Well, this is a significant performance, as we mentioned, from Mick Clifton. Corfiadis is still P2 on the road at this stage, but again, disqualification looms. So we're going to say that Hall and Cesar will move up positions because that is what it should be for motorsport. They should move up as Hall has a big slide through turn 2. That'll wake him up for a minute. He'll have to get this car pushing on forward again. Viger continues to feel the pressure at the moment from Favero, Listener, Brook in behind him as well. I'll tell you what, Ben Brook is Abel Verben's in pit lane again. So maybe a drive-through possibly for incident points. Tell you what, Ben Brook, we expected more from him this season, didn't we, Brett? Hoping a return to form for him for season 29 based on how his season ended last season. As Listener trying to get the inside of Favero, couldn't quite get there. But we hope for Ben Brook to get back to positive finishing after the way he ended last season in season 27.
Yeah. Blanchard just getting past Chapman.
He's fighting on forward is Chris Blanchard. He's had a few race wins in his time, of course. One of his more significant back at Miami a few seasons ago. In season 26 in what was the lead up to a nail biter at Circuit de Chille Villeneuve, where it came down to some unfortunate contact between contender and then teammate of the other contender. How controversial was that one, Brett? Across the seasons, we have many controversies, of course. But we always move on to the next season. Well, we love a bit of controversy, don't we? Controversy creates a bit of cash. But this season has been anything but. I mean, first few rounds we thought it was the Kokoschki show. Then Clifton and Hall have a breakthrough. Both of them had a breakthrough at Winton. And then we get to Phillip Island. Bad race for Hall. fairly decent race for Clifton. Return to form for Kokoschki. We then find out Kokoschki's going to be away for the second half of the season, so all of a sudden the focus goes to Hall at the Bend and Oran Park. Clifton, who's had some decent performances in the last few rounds. And then we get to tonight where Mick looks to get his second round win of the season. Hall looks to get a second place, and this championship battle is going to be all on leading in towards Bathurst next week.
Going to be a great race.
Well,
Great
indeed.
track, great race, great championship.
White flag on this final lap now of the race. Final droppable lap of the season, mind you. Bathurst, an undroppable round. One that will decide the championship. This is significant momentum for Mick Clifton next week. If it were to finish like this next week, though, Brett, with Mick in P1, Stewart in P2.
Dropping.
Yep.
Viger dropping.
Yeah, they are. And I think that is contact between them. So Viger, who was on for a finish today. Kelleher, who is on for getting disqualified. I'd like to mention, too, with Corfiatis now actually starting the final lap, he will get DQ'd at the end of this race. So that is race over for him. Same will be said for Pete Kelleher, who has started his final lap as Viger's trying to get going again. Kelleher will start the final lap, so the disqualification is on for him. If they were to finish the way they are right now, Brett, with Clifton P1 and Hall P2 next week, Hall would still win the championship. So Clifton could still win next week and not win the title. There is a world that happens. So this is now crunch time for this season, and Mick has got to have a perfect race at Bathurst if he wants to win the championship. And he needs Stewart to find some strife next week in the mountain. In towards the final corner, though, Mick Clifton has done everything he needs to tonight to maximise some points and to put this Accelerate Sim Racing car in championship-winning form. To the line he'll come. Second round win of the season for Clifton as he'll cross P1 on the road with Stuart Hall in behind the what will be disqualified car of Yusuf Corfiatis. He will come home P2 today on the podium, and Halil Cesar will come home for a historic double podium for that team of Infinity Motorsport. A return to the podium for him, and the Tuned X Strip Racing car is off the road. That was David Duddle just destroying the car at turn 1. He was not happy with that result. Favero, very unhappy, I will say. Nathan Favero will come home corrected P4, and Andrew Lister, what a top 5 for him tonight. P5 on the road, what a drive.
There you go. Adelaide has not, well, it has disappointed for some people, but it hasn't disappointed for entertainment. That.
What a drive, what a race.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just next week is going to be one for the ages. Who is going to take home the crown? Season 28, split 2.
Well, that's right. Who is it going to be? We're going to put it down to 3 drivers for driver of the day today. Halil Cesar, Andrew Listener, or Brett Taylor. Get your votes into the chat on who you think was driver of the day. We'll quickly run you through the race results for this one as Mick Clifton's celebrations will begin down on the start-finish line in just a moment here, as our provisional race results for you on to your screen. So Mick Clifton will come home P1 ahead of Stuart Hall and Halil Cesar on the podium. He'll then be Nathan Favero and Andrew Listener inside of the top 5. Ben Brook, Brett Taylor ahead of Chris Blanchard, with Tony Chapman inside of the top 10. Wade Reynolds will finish ahead of Darryl Callaghan, Todd Duggan, Chad Viger and Abel Verben then the top 15, with Matt Scholes, Joe Mahoney, Simon Hennessy, Tim Mulford out top 20 in the end there as well. To the top 30, it's then Brett Fisher ahead of Dave Duddle, Matthew Monday ahead of Darren Goosey, Ernie Toth, Andrew Galley, Dave Arney, Adrian Zeal, Roy Clark, James Boardman, although Dave Duddle will get disqualified for not completing his 2 CPSs here today. Rick Weigel will then make up the top 30, 18 laps down, and then we get to the non-finishers of Scott Weston, Stevie Kokoschki, Scott McCune, Matthew Day, to Paul Burns, Michael Quain, Ed Cullen, the race controller, ahead of Bruce McLeod, Reece DeGoey at the back end of the field as well. Non-finishers for disqualifications today, of course, was Peter Kelleher and Yusuf Corfidis inside of the top 10 as well. As we'll get to now, Brett, the best portion of the whole show. Really.
Yeah.
It is going to be when I can find it 250k's back. Of course, because it's so far away. When we get to the post-race highlights, brought to you by SIMRIGS here today out at Adelaide Street Circuit. And the first one we got to look to, we mentioned it, was the incident that was really occurred by Tony Chapman, and I believe it was Rick Viger with him as well. This is down towards turn number 1. So go for the gap together. Sideways, contact then into David Duddle. And then this was all hell breaking loose. And I want to see, yes we can. We can get a good image of this. So both of those guys coming together down there, just under the BP Ultimate Bridge. And watch as the cars file in with nowhere to go. Just an unbelievable incident. And the one that we've got to look for here is Mr. Roy Clark off this race start. This is a significant hit for him.
Yeah.
Down towards turn number 1.
Starts to the inside, and and then gets Zeal, and then Kelleher.
He got tag teamed. That was a tag team.
Yeah.
And he just got stacked up on top of them.
Big.
A huge moment for him. Let's watch it back, and we'll try and get a much better view of this for you as well. And this might be the best one. Possibly. Maybe not. Who knows?
Who knows?
See if we can get a good one for you here. It's down to, and I mean, just steamrolls into what is closed traffic. So everyone is just building up into this pack of cars that is parked on that side of the road. Nowhere for Roy to go. There you see, there's Stuart Hall. That was the contact that broke his steering.
Yeah.
Kokoschke was caught up in that too. Monday, of course, was involved.
Yeah.
But then watch as the rear end of Roy Clark's car just gets entered by Peter Kelleher, and that car goes up in the air. In what was a messy moment on lap 1. And a significant one for this race because it led to a lot of miss strategies for some drivers. A lot of miss strategies for some drivers down there on lap 1. And one that really opened the doors for mistakes to then be made in and out of pit lane, of course, for some drivers. We then had this as a significant moment as well. This was down at turn 9. How Stuart Hall avoided this, I have no idea. Quain and Mulford in the wall. Hall just hung it out to the right-hand side of screen. Everyone else exploded in behind.
Oh, and, yeah.
And just continues to all happen. So, and just, oh my God.
Oh. Ray White boys taking themselves out there as well.
I mean,
yeah, holding while they get through there.
Just a tough moment for him. And actually, let's go back here on board with Stephen Kokoschke. Look at this. Oh my God. And he's just trying to make it through the corner at that point.
Yeah.
Just trying to make it through the corner. And Rick Viger as well. He also had a moment too. This was another. So that car was already dead by this point, actually. Yeah. So we had Scott Weston go off the road as well. And this was further around. So that incident's happening up ahead. Oh, so that's why. So Viger actually got right in the back of Michael Quain, and that's what actually destroyed that car.
Yeah, right.
And then you saw header sheet into the back of Mulford. And then this is what happened to Scott Weston's. He's trying to traverse through it all, just straight in the barrier, right in the way of header sheet.
Yeah.
And that car banged straight into that tyre barrier as well. So then this is where we then saw the first sort of real CPS portion of the race. This is where the majority of the drivers came in for those first CPSs. We had Darren Goosey pull up here at the back of the train. I thought this might have been a moment for him. It wasn't actually. That car was fine. It was just pulling up slow at the back of the train. This was then Tim Mulford a little bit further around up at turn 4. Remember, we saw this car backed around the wrong way up here at turn 4 to the inside of the corner. So he's on the outside curb in behind one of those shadow racing cars. Car did not want to pull up.
Yeah.
Around he goes. We then had Andrew Galley getting involved in an incident here with Matt Monday into the wall. And then you watch this, got
and
spooked
then it
across the
continued.
nose
Yeah,
of
and then it
Monday,
continued.
and then into Dave Arney as well.
Yeah.
And then Dave Arney, that wouldn't be the last of his incidents of the night up at turn 4. Another one only a lap later as he would come around and in towards turn number 5. And the thing would just loop on him. Really unfortunate moment for him there. Scott McCune as well in the wars today. This was down at turn 7, the entry to the Brabham Straight.
Yeah.
And just the rear lining up and into the wall.
Yeah. He nearly saved that. He nearly got
did.
hold of that one.
And then
yeah.
Kokoschke, who already had significant damage on this car. And this was down towards turn 9. So Mulford in behind him, battling hard, trying to defend hard, right to the inside. Locks it up, doesn't pull it up nearly, and to the other side of the roundabout, he goes. And then there was Chad Viger, which another incident for him. This was down at turn 5 for the Angry Birds racing machine. And we saw this thing kind of half spun. This was how this happened and how it went into the wall. And he would then get involved in another incident only a few laps later. This time down at turn 9, in behind Todd Duggan and Andrew Listener. See him, he's going to try and pull it up on his former contender. And minor
Well, that was lucky.
contact.
Actually, everyone got out of that all right, actually.
Yeah,
Wasn't good. It was awkward, but
very lucky. And then
could have
Todd
been
Duggan
a lot worse.
had this moment on his lonesome. This is up at turn 6 and in towards turn 7. So he comes around turn 7. Rear end gets a bit loose on him and just taps the wall. Yeah, an unfortunate tap of the wall for him there.
What would that would have normally broken the back end of that.
And then this was Kokoschke's championship-ending incident on lap 40. Down at turn 11, rear end gets loose on the grass, straight in the wall, and that's it, done and dusted for Kokoschke.
Smoke up.
Yep.
Let the grey smoke out.
And then Scott Weston, who was, again, just in the absolute wars today. Another moment for him. This is down at turn 9 once again on board the EWT car. He just does not get it pulled up.
Just didn't want to pull up, yeah.
And then Dave Duddle, was this a similar moment for him? He was fighting with Rick Viger, who is just ahead of him. Oh, very late dive and heavy contact.
Looked like Viger was
trying to let him go, and then...
Well, he wasn't coming out very fast, so yeah, that probably just caught Duddle out of brought him out there, I'd say.
I think so. And then we found Ernie Toth as well, battling with Todd Duggan. To the inside was Toth, Duggan to the outside, squeezing Duggan into the wall. And what you have to ask there is, where's Duggan going to go on that one there, Brett? I mean, wasn't really anywhere for him to go other than the barrier. Dave Arney as well. He was no stranger to the incidents tonight. This was a wild tank slapper through turn 3. And then up into turn 4, the thing just did not want to pull up.
Yeah.
We then had Matthew Scholes and David Duddle. Wasn't surprised. This was a weird one down at the final corner. So Duddle will go around. Scholes, nowhere to go. Bit of contact. Tried to wait for him to let him up, but... realised it was going to take about 10 years to get him turned around, and then nearly came out right in the way of Todd Duggan, and did come out right in the way of Matthew Monday back there.
Yeah.
So that was an unfortunate one for him. And this was James Baldwin on lap 65. So this is what actually initially damaged the car down here at turn 9. So very, very deep. Catches the curb. Minor contact in the wall. And then this was his exit out of pit lane. This is how the car actually came out of pit lane here, Brett. So,
right, because he
comes out right in front of the race leader, slows up, lets him go, turns him for the corner, catches the curb, and bang, straight in the barrier. And that car is destroyed at that point.
That is destroyed, yeah. Tough night. Very,
very tough night. But not a tough night for this man, the race winner. What a drive for him. What a race to that race win as well.
Absolutely marvellous.
Absolutely marvellous. as we'll end our driver of the day poll as well out there. Oh, look at that. Our green room is full today, Brett. It's a very rare occasion when the green room is full. It must be said. Great to have everyone out there watching along with this, but also waiting for us to come and have a chat to us too. What we'll first get to, though, is our Driver of the Day award before we get to our podium here today. And our M1 News Cars Driver of the Day will be going the way of SCR's Andrew Listener in what was a phenomenal drive for him. What a result. Not Mick Clifton, thank you very much, but Andrew Listener, who does get the Driver of the Day award. Congratulations to Andrew after a great top 5 finish, up 12 positions in this race. What a drive for Mr. Listener. As that is a well-deserved finish for him, of course.
Yeah.
And one that he should be very, very proud of after today's race as well. What we'll do is we're going to move to our podium finishes, and we'll actually chat to the teammates together, I think, of Stuart Hall and Halil Cesar together here today. So we'll drag them both in. Halil and Stuart, welcome in. Congratulations, Halil. Return to form for yourself. Back on the podium. Race day, obviously, you thought it wasn't going to be a podium and then realised later on disqualification for Corfias to come. So you're both on the podium today together for the first double-team podium of the Gen 3 era. Halil, how does it feel for you to return to this sort of form for yourself, knowing that next season there'll be obviously a hope for you to make a charge back at the championship once again after what has been an unfortunate run of events for you over the last 2 seasons, but this is going to be a good feeling to return to the podium today here at Adelaide.
Yeah, thanks, Hamish. Yeah, look, I've had a bit of a destructive season, but I plan to get back into it pretty solid next season, have a crack at it. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked to actually get the podium at the end of the day. I sort of felt like we deserved that podium. We put a lot of effort into that race. And to be fair, I was pretty shocked to get P2 and miss out by a pole by, a cigarette paper. So no, there was race pace there. I just wanted to do my best for Stewie on the night because championships come down to small amount of points throughout the years. So my little part is hopefully going to happen again. Hopefully that's what I'm aiming for at Bathurst as well, to do my part for Stewie and for the team. So yeah.
Well, Stuart, obviously a good result for yourself. Corrected P2 on the road today. If it was, as we suspect it will be, where you'll actually get promoted to P2 and that disqualified driver gets moved out of the way, obviously only 5 points gained on you there at most by Mick over yourself. 9 points differential now in the championship, we predict. How does that make you feel going into Bathurst next week? But knowing that it's going to be, what's needed is going to be a 5-position differential between yourself and Mick for him to beat you, knowing you've now got a little bit less pressure on your shoulders than what he does.
Yeah, no, it was good. I'm sort of happy with that, and had a good race with a couple of difficulties in there, but yeah, it was a good outcome in the end after what happened in the carnage at the start. So yeah, pretty happy with that.
And the fact that you missed out on your fast repair in the first pit stop as well, and then didn't strategically get to come in on lap 9 with the first safety car, but that actually probably helped you out a bit better than what may have been anticipated at that stage where you missed the call in. But it's still a tough race though. I mean, obviously your team is behind you for next week, as what Halil said, and now, do you guys thinking that there's 3 of you out there and only one of possibly 2, Mick and then maybe his other teammate in Lorne Mackay, knowing that you have maybe the team advantage over him, does that give you the edge, do you think, Stuart, or do you think it's still going to be as tough as ever across the mountain?
I think it's always tough across the mountain. You just got to, play it safe for the whole race, and you got to push hard, but you just got to take it that little bit cautious, because it's pretty easy to wreck yourself. And we'll just do some practice this week and hope for the best.
That's all you can do. Is there anyone, Halil, that you want to give a shout out to before we get to Stuart at this race end?
Yeah, well, firstly, happy birthday, mate. Sorry for the late one.
Thank you.
I have to mention that. But look, title sponsors for us will be Blackheart Designs, Infinity Broadcast, Water Mechanical, Tundex Drift Academy, MPI, Motorsports Australia, driving sports. Thanks, Lee, for everything you do for me. iRacing World Challenge, VRS, and basically every competitor that we have every week that we do our racing with. Without you guys, we don't get to do what we do. And all my teammates, guys, let's bring on the next season. Let's finish this one off with a top step, and all the best to all other competitors.
Very good. And Stuart, since Halil took over the team's shout-outs, is there anyone personally that you want to shout out to before we let you go?
I would really, I'd like to congratulate Mick for a great win there. And, yeah, since Halil's done all the other sponsors, just, congratulate Jamie McKnight for all his setups he does for every season. They are great, and hope he keeps going. Thank you.
Well, I'd assume he's going to next season since he made the calendar for next season. But who knows? Yeah. Maybe he made the calendar and someone else made the setups. But no, appreciate your time, gentlemen. Congratulations on the double podium. Best of luck at Bathurst next week. We look forward to seeing how you go.
Thanks, Infinity Broadcast, too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hamish.
Thank you, guys.
Hey,
appreciate
thanks,
your time. Well, Brett, I don't think I actually got to mention it to you earlier before we bring Mick in. Do you recall the question I asked you earlier on in regards to what was significant about season 24 and season 26?
Yeah, but I have no idea, Hamish.
They were championships that were won by Infinity Motorsport.
Oh, there you go.
And we are now into season 28.
Go.
Every 2 seasons. Is that then going to be the case for that team again? Will they win every 2 seasons?
Who knows?
Well,
who knows? Time will tell.
Time will tell. We'll find out next week.
Hopefully they'll all get promoted up into split one.
Who
give
knows?
someone else a crack.
Oh, who knows? We'll have a quick chat though to our other championship contender and as well our race winner here today in Mr. Mick Clifton. Mick, welcome in. You won your first race earlier in the season back at Winton. This is your first though full race length race win here in Vets as a single round win. Crucial. Couldn't have come at a better time with 1 round to go this season. If Stuart does get promoted up to P2, I mentioned it to you, you've gained 5 points on him now, I'm pretty sure, based on the bonus points. So,
yeah, I've already counted.
Yeah.
This P2 anyway.
Yeah. Well, we believe he should be because of the disqualification. That's then 9-point differential for you. 5 points, 5 positions differential. A top 4 next week for Stuart would win it for him. What have you got to do next week to try and win the championship now? After such a great win and a great drive from yourself, what do you think you need to do next week? And what can you take away from these last 9 rounds and apply next week to win the championship?
Yeah, can only do what I've been doing and just go back to round 1, I think, at Bathurst here. I was on for a podium, but I just couldn't get past Scotty Weston, I think it was. And then I got overtaken in the last few laps. So I should have been on for a podium there, hopefully, and that's what I got to do again.
Well, you know, Bathurst can often be a cruel mistress. It'll claim its winner very early, and it will choose its winner very early as well. We've seen that time and time again. Do you think if you can make it through maybe the first stint of that race, first 20 laps, at that point, will you know if you're going to be able to win this, or do you think that it's going to take you the whole race to figure out if you're actually going to be able to win this by the end?
No, I'll know after 2 laps, once the tyres get warm. I'm not too good on the opening laps.
The race start.
Yeah. Yeah. Once I get into the rhythm, that's when I'll know. This track, it's really good for a rhythm for me. I don't know why.
I think maybe it's the combination of corner speeds and just the way that the sections come together. I mean, this is almost a track. It feels like almost 2 different styles of track in one. Obviously, you get that more tighter street circuit style in the first sort of half of the lap, and in the second half's more flowing, proper race circuit style. But I don't know. I think you look at Bathurst next week. You know, you say you'll know by lap 2 if you're going to win or not. I don't know if I could even claim you'll know by lap 2. I mean, I thought on Thursday it was over on lap 1 when Stuart had to take an extra stop, and I'm like, we've got a long 78 laps ahead of us. And I'll be honest, I was gobsmacked when he came out after that third stop when he was P4. I'm like, okay, I got no idea how that's happened. But I I suppose you
I was
never
just
you never know.
talking to the guys, and they just couldn't believe I saved that much fuel.
Oh, you know, I couldn't either. I was
You
sat there and
thought
I'm
I
like, how in the hell is he taking like 20 liters less? Like, it's ridiculous. But you know, it's fuel saving. Fuel saving's one thing that can be a winner or a killer to someone's race as well. It's it's something that if you're smart with, it'll work in your benefit. I don't know if Bathurst is going to be a fuel save race as much as what this one was, but I think it is going to be obviously a race one in pit lane. Will come down to this, how many safety cars we get and stuff like that. Obviously, it's a big uphill battle for you. You've got to come up against 3 drivers really who are on pace at Bathurst. One of which finished on the podium last time we were there. The other one finished inside the top 10, and the other one didn't get a chance to race. So you've got to come up in what really could be a 3 versus 2 battle if your teammate Lorne Mackay can race next week. What sort of pressure does that put on you, knowing that really it's not a 1-on-1, it's a 3-on-2 or a 3-on-1, depending on if Lorne can be there?
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on me next week. This week it wasn't so much pressure. I pretty well had a free round because of my other drop round.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I wasn't on the podium, I was nowhere in this race, so I could really go hard at it. But next week I'll have to play my conservative game, and yes, I don't know if I'll have the pace to be out in front, but I'll give it a crack.
Well, you had the pace last time. I think qualifying may have a hand to play early if you position yourself well enough, I suppose. But, I mean, time will tell. I mean, Brett, you were out there in round 1 as well with Mick. How important do you think qualifying is going to be next week for him to contest with the likes of Stuart, Halil and James, who are all going to be on pace at Bathurst?
Look, it's always important to get the car up the front or close to the front as you possibly can to get yourself a clean start. I think that's the main thing. Get yourself up as far as you can, do the best you can. Obviously you will. And then keep it clean for the first few laps, because we know it can always get hectic and everything like that. And then just run your race, and what'll happen will happen.
Just don't let me get that far in front, because I keep thinking I've done something wrong.
Yeah.
I haven't got enough fuel, and did I change tyres? I don't know.
all I hope for next week, I just hope it's a great battle. It's not run or won by an incident or or anything like that. I just hope it's a great battle.
That's what I hope too. I don't want it to happen how it happened last time. Please don't let it happen how it happened last time.
Steve's been the fastest guy all year,
Yeah.
and Stewie's not far behind him. So if we can get us 3 battling out, that'd be great.
Well, I don't believe Steve is racing because he can't win the championship now. But I mean, if it comes down to, I mean, obviously it would be exciting battling to see you and Stuart battle 1-on-1. Obviously, not that that's going to win you the championship, but just as exciting will be to see if you lead and then Stuart has to chase down a position. I think that would be just as exciting, obviously. But I just hope that it's a clean and competitive race. Obviously, I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end how it ended 2 seasons ago at Montreal. That still sits with me as a tough win to take. This is one that obviously wants to be earned, just as always, obviously. And I don't know that you want to try and earn this too, because this is a long road that you've taken to get here, Mick. And I know that you want to try and earn this as much as ever. I want you to be able to earn this just as much as I want my team to be able to earn this too. So it is
count all 10 rounds then.
Well, that's it. If you count all 10 rounds, then where do you sit? But yeah, we'll see. But one consolidation I suppose you can take is you get to go to Split 1 for the first time next season, no matter if you win next week or not. So you're going to be in the position.
Even if it's only for 1 season, so I can come back and talk to you, Hamish.
Oh well, there we go. You never know if you do come straight back. That's another chance for you to win it if you can't win it next time, or next week or whatever it is. There's always a chance that can happen. But, Mick, we appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck next week at Bathurst where you try and win this championship. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout-out to before we let you go?
Just shout-out to the fellow racers. They've all been really good this season. I think I've been nice to everyone, so hopefully they'll be nice to me in the last round. And yeah, thanks to all my sponsors: Abbey Timber, Primer Wheels, Boxer Lock Narang, Modern Deck, all my teammates at XSR, and lastly, I'm SIMRIGS and V8 Vets. You guys for the broadcast, and it was the anniversary last Sunday, so happy anniversary, babe. Love you.
I remember, what was it, 2 years ago you were getting married? Bloody hell, how the time flies.
Yeah.
We'll wish you best of luck next week, Mick. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll see if we're chatting to you next week as a runner-up or as a champion. Time will tell.
All right. Thanks, guys. Hopefully.
Thank you.
All the best.
I'll say thank you as well to everyone in the chat who wished me a happy birthday. My birthday was yesterday. To answer Damon's question, I'm not 40 yet. I'm still 12 years away from being 40. So there's still a lot of seasons to go. We'll hit season... Actually, let me do the maths on that. No, we won't. I was going to say we'll hit season 100 before I get to that point, but we won't. So we're still a while until we get to there. We're only in season 29 next season, but... I mean, what a race, what a season has been, Brett, ultimately. An unbelievable season. And this is going to be an unbelievable championship. And I genuinely, there's obviously, there's two sides of me, right? There's the team owner and there's the broadcaster, or the person outside of an on-race day, right?
Mm.
Both want this to be a fair fight. Both want this to be a fair race to the championship end. The team owner and me is... hungry for Stuart to win this championship, no doubt about that. There's a lot of bias on the team owner side of things that I want Stuart to win. I want my team to win, and I want my team to succeed. I'd be lying if I told you I didn't believe that. But there's also the broadcaster part of me, and the half of me that's away from that bias, right? That says I want Mick to win this because Mick has taken such a long road to earn this. That if he does, it is going to be one of the all-time stories that we ever talk about.
Yeah.
Here in Split 2. So it's a very conflicting feeling between the two of them.
Yeah, I'd like to see Mick win it, and then nothing against you or your team.
No, I know.
I think I'd just like to see Mick win it.
It's a feel-good story. If Mick wins it, it's a feel-good story. And I'm aware that Mick is the crowd favourite to win this, and I know that on this occasion my team is the enemy of the crowd, and that we are the Mark Scaife of the crowd at this point. You've won so many times that someone else win it at this point, but we're hungry for success. We're hungry
Time
for
will
this again.
tell. We're only less than a week away.
We're 1 week away. And I hope I've called this season as unbiased as possible. I will call next week as unbiased as possible, as I always do. Thursday night is a different night than Saturday night, though, Brett. Thursday night, it is game time.
Oh, yeah.
And depending on how I feel on Friday will depend how we feel coming on Saturday. But nonetheless, it's going to be a fun one. And I'm going to enjoy it. And I hope you all enjoy it as well. It's been an incredible season, obviously, and one where I wish every competitor the best of luck in their final round of the season. It's 1 round to go. It is Mount Panorama Bathurst for 300 kilometres next week. You do not want to miss it in that final round. This was the second to last round of course tonight, 250k, 78 laps of Adelaide. Next week, 49 laps, 300k's of Bathurst. It's going to be the key to victory next week. Try and win the championship. You've got to survive the mountain for 300k's. When will we know who is going to win this championship? Well, we're only going to know once that checkered flag flies and the last car crosses the line of who is the champion at the end of next week too. From myself, Hamish Munro Brett Fisher alongside. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you being with us once again. And joining us here for the SIMRIGS V8 Veterans Split 2 action of Season 28, Round 9 out at Adelaide Street Circuit. Big thank you to all the series sponsors, including SIMRIGS.com, Logitech G, Paramount Suzuki, Play One Sim Gear, Project Fade, Streetwear, LGC Images, and M1 Used Cars as Driver of the Day Award. This week it went the way of Andrew Lister. Next week it could go to you. Still to come here today. Very, very quickly before we sign off is the song. And then we fade away into the adverts afterwards as well. But we'll see you guys next week in Mount Panorama Bathurst for the final round of Season 28. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
the night. Adelaide crack, but Bathurst is the fight. Thunder, echo in the sky. Champions rise and the weak ones fly. Thunder, feel it in your bones. Mountain calling from the sacred stones. Thunder, pressure breaking through. Bathurst decides what the brave men do. Sideways in a flash of light, Mustangs diving, Camaros in the fight. Turn one, chaos smoke in the air, champions scattered everywhere. Hall took damage but he held his ground. Clifton pushing with a thunder sound. Kokoschke swinging like a storm unleashed. Adelaide turned into a concrete beast. Body shaking, engine scream. Adelaide shattered every dream. Points exploding, fate undone. Bathurst waits for rolling through the night. Adelaide crack, but Bathurst is the fight. Thunder, echo in the sky. Champions rise and the weak ones fly. Thunder, feel it in your bones. Mountain calling from the sacred stones. Thunder, pressure breaking through. Bathurst decides what the brave men do.
Screaming, tires bleeding, virtual cubes, the motor's breathing, engine thunder from down under, piston fire, turn asunder, put your name in lights. Oh, with the vets tonight, it's a 1,000 decibel supercar fight, burn this track to the ground with V8 sound. Steel, but the racing's real. Pedal down every pass you feel. Step right up and place your bets. This is us, the V8 vets. Put your name in lights. Put your name in lights with the vets tonight. It's a 1,000 decibel supercar fight. Burn this track to the ground with V8 sound. Put your name in lights. Oh, oh, with the vets tonight. It's a 1,000 decibel supercar fight. Burn this track to the ground with V8 sound. Burn this track to the ground. Come on now, put your name in lights.
The Racing Series is a new milestone in Logitech G.
All the great old wheels, the G29, the G920, the G923, they all have their own unique way of connecting to each other, but there's no room for expansion with those products.
So the question arose was, what if we were to give the opportunity for the racer to switch out from a drifting wheel to a GT rim?
With the wheel hubs that we've created, that's got a very specific button set, but you can replace any of the steering wheels.
And the real lovely aspect to this was we could give the user, driver and the racer the opportunity to experience different genres of race.
That allows drivers to craft high quality, customized setups that resonate with your individual racing style.
When we start with the design, we always start sketching. Very often, once we've got sketches, we start discussing with engineering.
We had 3 rounds of engineering testing or user testing where we invited in users from sim racing, and every single round of feedback we refine, the product based on what they tell us.
In the sim racing lab, again, we're going to use data to really analyze what a driver needs. We've used everything from eye tracking to the inputs from the pedals, the inputs from the, let's just say, input devices, the wheel and the pedals, the shifter. We're taking that and we're compiling it so that we can build different products based on those individuals' needs for all consumers and all drivers.
I don't know of anyone else in the industry that's actually doing this kind of research into their products to see how their products are affecting performance of their users.
We've built the product to make sure that it's as reliable as possible.
So the innovations in engineering that I'd say we're most proud of is the sequential handbrake and shifter toolless changeover. This is now a patented system, so it's really easy for the user to just switch between modes.
If you give people the tools to do what they want, they will.
They will just go off and have fun.
Hey guys, sorry about the lack of videos lately, but I've been really busy down in Melbourne with SIMRIGS. I've actually built our first rig in Melbourne. It's featuring our new ASR chassis. So basically it's an ASR Pro with a cubic QS210 motion system with a cubic BT1 belt tensioner. I've coupled it with an awesome set of LG ultra wides. What you've seen before, these are the new brackets that I've made for the cubic system to suit the ASR, and you notice it's really low to the ground. We got it really low to sort of match a real car, like a lot of motion systems sit quite high, and that's really annoying that you need steps to actually get in it. So now I've lowered it down, it's actually really low to the ground. And the awesome thing with cubic is when it sits, it actually sits down like a real lowrider, and it only raises when it comes back and starts moving. Also on this rig, we've got the fantastic SimCube active pedals. Not going to get a better pedal on the market. Couple that with the SimCube Coral. We've given it the whole Porsche livery and the Grid Racing by SimLabs Porsche wheel. So that just ties it all in together. So it's an awesome build. I really love these monitors because of the semicircle. You just look at, you're fully encapsulated. And being ultra wide, yes, they are a little bit narrow, but with the 45 inches, it is taller. It is, I think, about maybe 2 inches higher compared to a 32 monitor. The color that you get out of them is fantastic. Really nice and deep, good blacks, as any OLED should be. That's it, guys. We've got heaps more builds that we're doing at the moment. Our ASR containers arrived, so you'll be seeing them on our website as well. So, till next time.